And your mic's not working.
Hello. I'm so sorry.
Hi. Okay, real quick. What's up?
Oh, I understand. I got a lot of. I'm not gonna be long. Okay. So I'm gonna send you a tweet, and it'd be cool if you could like retweet it because me and some people in conjunction with Ukrainian Anna are running a fundraiser to help supplies for Ukrainians who are freezing in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah, and if DGG wanted to donate and stuff, that'd be cool. I can post it in chat if someone wants to pin it or what have you. Yeah, I know it's an ad, guys, but it's for a good cause. Okay.
Okay. Feel like this could have been a DM, but okay, gotcha. Go for it.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to shout it out on stream. I don't know if you would have.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
because I don't know if you were gonna, but you know. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. Because you're busy. If there's anything else, I'll come back later. It's fine. Anyway, have a good one, buddy.
Be careful.
Bye, chat. Yi wins.
2,
Solid.
1.
What the is this?
Right, I think. What
Is this a DGG emote list? Bro, I don't even know fucking 90% of the emotes in my chat, okay? The most frustrated I get is when I wake up in the morning or if I'm out and I want to like comment on something going on in chat. I don't want to put like an emote, but I don't know the emote and I don't know how to look up the emotes on my chat. So then I just don't say anything.
has to happen?
Isn't there a proposed emote wipe? Good. I hope so. It should be 20 tops. It should be 20 emotes. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just thought of the best. Oh my god. I just thought of the best fucking thing in the world. Follow me on this. Jader. Jader. Jader, listen up. You get 10 base emotes. We'll determine these to be the ones that are most commonly used. We'll take the top 10 most used emotes, that 10 base emotes, and then for every new sub tier, you get to select 5 more emotes for your account, and you can recycle these, like change your choices once a month. Boom! Genius idea. We're gonna milk these motherfuckers. We're gonna milk these motherfuckers for all they're worth. Hell yeah. Watch as footage captures the moment when fake ICE agent grabs McDonald's worker by the neck and threatens to deport him. What is a fake ICE agent? It's a guy dressed up as... first of all, why are you back here in the kitchen? Hello? Shit's already fucked at this point.
Video shows the moment an interaction between a man and the staff at a La Jolla McDonald's turned violent.
Oh no, wait, no, this isn't the kitchen, is it? Never mind. I thought it looked like it. Never mind.
He grabbed me from the back, got my neck like really hard. So when that happened, all my coworkers jumped in him and he let go. No! But after that, he just
oh no, wait, is it?
punched me on the side.
I don't
The
know.
San Diego Police Department said around noon on Thursday, a man asked for the restaurant's manager and wrapped his arm around his neck, all under the claim that he was an ICE agent.
Damn.
Why do you think your 911 phone calls aren't working?
Uh-oh.
Ya no me contesta.
This is the most McDonald's. God, I hated working here. God, I hate people. I had a dream once. When I first year I made $100,000 streaming, I had a dream that I would quit my job in 10 years and I would just travel across the United States and just apply for and get rehired at McDonald's over and over again until I could just work and find that one fucking customer and then just unload on them when I came across them because I didn't need the job and then I'd get fired and I'd go somewhere else. God, I fucking hate the people that fucking come to this fucking place. God damn.
Why do you think I'm willing to take 2 punches in the face with some illegal immigrant while I make an arrest for Immigrations and Customs Enforcement?
Police arrested 40-year-old Joshua Cobb for impersonating a police officer and battery.
Hey! No!
Do you still hear that one machine beep in your head? There's one traumatizing beep at McDonald's. Well, I don't know if it's true for all fast food or for all McDonald's. There's only one beep that's truly traumatizing. There's the beep of all like the where you're holding food, because when you put like burgers or whatever into the trays, you're supposed to push a timer that tells you how long they're fresh for. Depending on how shitty the employees are, they might reset it over and over again. But it's the goddamn headset. Every single time, customers like have this fucking spy system where they can see into the restaurant and they'll be like hidden outside and they're just waiting for you to start some shit where you're like, your hands are dirty, you're doing something in the back. And then as soon as they fucking see that, they gas it and then they come through the drive-thru and then you hear that fucking beep, beep, because you have to push to answer the, oh God, it's so fucking annoying. Do you ever go back to a McDonald's and think these guys are doing this shit so badly? I do get annoyed when people are mean to me because I'm a nice person, okay? And I've been there before. But then sometimes I'll talk to some employees like, why the fuck? I don't need this shit. Why are you taking your day out on me, motherfucker? I'm the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. I'm not going to complain about my food, even if you fuck it up. Just give me my shit. Don't take your shit out on me. Oh! Mean employees. Don't make me feel bad for asking, you know, where some shit is that you left out of my fucking bag. Fuck! Here's that tweet for the fundraising stuff. The absolute worst is when they come to the store like 10 minutes before closing and then make us all stay for another hour while they pick out their fucking product. Well, I worked at McDonald's, so it was 24/7, so there was never, I didn't have to deal with that. Sometimes that would happen at the casino, but I don't know. I never had a bad, I never cared much about that. If we're open, we're open. Like, I don't, if you want to come in. The only time that would be annoying the only time that would be really annoying, and you gotta hope you don't get a dick customer, is on some nights when you need to do deep cleaning for the kitchen, you might have it set so that you're closing at 2 or 3, right? And you're waiting, you have to wait until 2 or 3, and then you're closing the restaurant, and then you start to tear down stuff. You have to take the hoods off over the grills and all this deep cleaning bullshit. And sometimes if it's a really slow night, you're like, okay, it's 1:30. I know we're not supposed to close for another hour and a half, but fucking let's just do it. And then so you might have the kitchen start to tear down, and then when a customer comes by, you have to make up some crazy excuse about how whatever they want isn't available, because if you tell them the kitchen was closed, every single customer, for whatever fucking reason, it's like if you're in the Matrix and like Agent Smith is like a guy who can take over anybody, the Karen Smith program will take over any customer. You'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, 1:30, we're closed tonight for kitchen cleaning. And then all of a sudden, 1:30 tonight? It's actually January 27th on Fridays. You guys aren't supposed to close your kitchen until 3 a.m. So I'm going to be contacting your manager because I know that. And it's like, how the fuck do you even know when the fuck the kitchen is? Probably because it's on a sign out front, but like, God, fuck. Ugh! Fuck you. How long did you work at McDonald's? I think less than a year. It was a transition between high school. It was when I was in high school and then transitioning to college, I think. Any war stories with the ice cream machine? Not really, other than it was fucking broken half the fucking time, which was annoying because the, what do we call it? I think shake mix. You could sell so much product out of one bag of shake mix. These are like insane profit items at the store, but I feel like that machine broke so often. Jesus Christ. But when it worked, whew, it was a moneymaker. I don't know why people bitch about the ice cream machines. Cleaning the hood vents was the real fuckery. Well, I don't even know. We never cleaned the ice cream machines. We always had to pay. I remember he's like, because he was always like a weird guy. There was probably nothing wrong with him. I think when you're young, I think every older guy just seems weird, or every older person seems weird. But it was always some large guy that came in, and he always had like a tool belt that he never took anything out of, and it was always that contractor that had come and clean the ice cream machines. It was never ever ever us. We never did any deep cleaning on that. Like you could clean out like the tray on the bottom where the like gunk would collect. But there was always some other person that came in once a week to do all the deep cleaning stuff. People are saying Taylor was the company. Yeah, I feel like we watched a YouTube video about this once, but... Do you have the answers as to why they were always broken? I don't fucking know. Apparently, I feel like we watched a YouTube video on this a long time ago, and they said that the machines are just very sensitive, such that if there's any problem, they'll just shut off, or they'll say you can't do anything. Yes, we only clean the coffee machines and the frappy/smoothie stuff. I don't even know if we ever deep cleaned the kitchen. That might have been another crew that came in for that as well. I don't know. Not safe for like video of the ice rink shooting. Is that a thing? Is there like a ice rink shooting that I should know about? I like how I've lost the ability to manually adjust the volume again on Twitter. I feel like I haven't had this problem in months, and now I'm going to start getting it again. I heard you should never get the sweet tea because there was always dead flies in there. Is that true? There shouldn't be. Oh, we made the tea, I think, right? You got like a bag, and then you put water in or mix or something, and then it just sat in a big thing, but there should be no way for a fly to get in because you put the top on, no? How do you pronounce melee? Some people say melee or melee. New video captures shooting at ice skating rink in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Wow. No, they don't clean the inside well enough, Destiny. That's what I've heard. I mean, how hard is it to even clean? What are you even doing? It's just, you just fill it with tea and water and then you dump it out.
Play up the supposed risk of taking a boat to Cuba or traveling to Cuba in order to like make it seem like they're doing something risky, so that influencers like Hassan Piker can pretend, like play act as if they're doing something at all as heroic as the Gaza flotilla was, which they're not. You know, there's a reason Hassan didn't go on the Gaza flotilla, because when he couldn't make content out of it, it was actually somewhat risky. There's a reason why he is going on the Cuba flotilla. There's zero risk. Anyone can go to Cuba. Dozens of small boats arrive in Cuba every day. There's nothing impeding them. The only thing that impedes you is if you leave from the US, and even then, still many boats arrive in Cuba from the US. Most boats that go to Cuba, small private boats, most planes, commercial planes that go to Cuba, travel from Florida, okay? When I saw how the main organizer of this, David Adler, who I believe was on the Gaza flotilla, was talking about this in the media, I found it ludicrous the way they framed.
I worked at Arby's in the 90s. We never cleaned the tub with Arby's meat. We only added to it. I met people that worked at other locations, same thing. Really? Or did you never did it, but like night shift did it? That might have been a thing you never did, but maybe night shift did?
Framing it. It's just not the same. Like Adler said, we hope this will be a mechanism of popular pressure on the world's governments, which have the responsibility under international law to protect the fundamental rights of the Cuban people and export the energy the island requires. How will a bunch of private ships going to Cuba with presumably...
Are you a little queasy if you order from a place with an open kitchen and you see the people are prepping your food without gloves? Not really, because I don't know how to explain this without triggering chat. I don't know how retarded chat is on this. Whether you wear gloves or not is basically the same. It's gonna, like, if your hands are dealing with stuff all the time, like, you should be washing your hands or you should be changing your gloves. But at the end of the day, it's basically the same shit. Like, nobody's changing their gloves after every single individual item that they're touching. And so if you're wearing the same gloves for 4 hours, you might look at that person and think their hands are cleaner. But I mean, it's more or less the same thing as, I don't know. I don't. Gloves do help with stuff like skin flaking. I guess. I mean, not to sound weird, but I mean, like, you're literally eating like dead animal tissue and carcasses. Like, I don't know. Well, hi, what's up?
Hey, hey.
Hold on.
You gonna go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
you
give me
want
one
me to
sec.
take over?
I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Okay. What's up, guys? I feel like it's been a long time. Wait, how do I read the comments at the same time? Or are they turned off? Fuck, I think they're turned off. Hold on. I want to be able to read the comments, so if anybody's got questions. Oh, here they are. Hey, guys. All right, I wanted to give everybody some updates on what's been going on. So, yeah, everything. Thank you guys so much for the donations you guys gave for the South Carolina stop. That was really awesome. Like, we hit our fundraising goal plus some, and if we get to 20,000 by the time we hit Friday, we're going to add 2 more stops. So if you guys want to see that, that would be cool. And oh, hey, I'm seeing all the comments now. What's up? Does anybody have any questions about like the tour or anything? I've been saying I was going to jump on stream forever. So if you guys have questions, definitely ask them. But yeah, some of the stuff that we're doing. So we're trying to organize a stop for UCLA coming up. So if you guys are in California, somebody said the Slayer of Dean. I'm so dead. Yeah, I'm the microaggression queen. I still hold that title, okay? You guys better not take that from me. But yeah, we're going to be going to UCLA, we think, pretty soon here. So we're still organizing the permit. But if you're in California and you want to come to that, please do. That would be really, really cool. We think we're going to get a really big crowd there. Also, we are really getting deep on our college chapter stuff right now, and we need more people to apply to start college chapters. So if you are a student and you want to start a college chapter, please, please, please email us at info@National Ground Game. Okay, that is super, super important. We need more people to start a chapter. We are also hiring right now for a social media person. And so if you know how to like clip content and you know how to do shit like that, please apply on the website. If you go to nationalgroundgame.com/jobs, you can apply from the portal. And then you can also email me personally and say, hey, I applied and I'm from the DGG community and I want you to put my application, send it to the hiring manager and I'll do that. So email me at z@nationalgroundgame.com. Somebody said, can you start doing toward events or worried? Okay, let me tell you something about the security. So the security on these campuses are fucking insane, guys. Like they're insane. Like we have to do like actual meetings with the colleges like before we even like step foot on campus. And it's actually crazy because they have so many like different people in place for stuff like this. So we have like the campus security, we have to get outside security firms, like we have all of that. So whether we're inside or outside, your boy is safe. I promise you.
Why are you challenging people like this to prove you wrong?
I don't know. Unless you start doing some weird tweets again, like right before an event. I have nothing to do with those. So, but I think it's pretty safe. Somebody.
What's up? Wait, did you say? Have you announced the name of your kid yet? Wait, you said you were pregnant. You had a kid, right? That's public.
I had a kid, yeah.
Well, that's all, okay, yeah, some people are really private about that. Wait, yeah, have you said the name of your baby?
Her name's Emmy. She's so cute. She's so
Aw.
much better than my toddler. Yeah, she's great. She's gonna be an easy baby.
How many days have you had this baby?
She was born 2 weeks ago today.
Damn. Why do you think she's gonna be easy already? Did she sleep through the night completely and stuff, or?
Yeah, she just like sleeps. She's so chill. Like my first one was not chill. Was your kid chill like when he was born or?
It was so chill and so regular. I feel bad for people that had issues. Like it was annoying waking up at night. I don't know if it was like 50-50. It was probably mainly Rachel that did, but I did sometimes. But it was like every 4 hours, basically, he would wake up crying a little bit. You would have to feed him, burp him, change him, and then put him back down. And it was very regular. No crazy crying or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy, I feel like, in the beginning. And then they get to be toddlers and you're like, fuck, why did I do this? This is crazy.
Hating, okay.
We're in the potty training phase right now, so I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so hard.
Yeah.
But everybody's asking about IRI too. IRI is invited. IRI and I are friends. We're buddies. Siblings almost. We have the same last name. He can definitely come.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah, we actually have the same last name. Yeah, it's true.
Like the same hyphenated last name?
No, not the same hyphenated last name, but he's also a Cohen, like I am. So
Gotcha.
And he's from LA. I was also born in LA, so I feel like we might actually be related at some point, which would be super cool.
That would track with what Hassan says, I think. So yeah.
Right? Well, all the Jews are all connected.
Exactly.
You should know that.
By incest, not just by conspiracy, but yeah. Have you announced the next school yet that we want to go to?
Yeah, I was just telling them we want to do UCLA. And if they're in LA, to definitely come. We're trying to get the date sorted out. We think we're going to do March 23rd, but we're waiting on the permit. I was telling them that definitely sign up to start a college chapter. and make sure that you donate. Today's my birthday, so if you guys want to donate to the PAC for my birthday, that'd be cool.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm getting so old, dude. I'm like, fuck. It's every time I'm like, shit, another year is going by.
That's usually how they work. Yeah, one at a time. Yep.
I still feel like I'm 22. I'm definitely not. Somebody said, are you planning to come to Oregon? Oregon is very blue, but we do have somebody that wants to start a chapter out there. So if you're a student at University of Oregon, let us know because they need more students out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are there any states that you guys want us to go to?
People are just going to say the state they're in, so not there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But.
Where do you want, are there any schools you want us to go to?
I don't know. I don't really care. I don't like debating college kids. I don't give a fuck. So wherever is the most conservatives or whatever the largest school is, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. You don't like debating college? Who would you rather debate?
Or I mean, like it's okay as a thing, but I prefer more challenging venues, obviously. Sometimes I feel bad just steamrolling college kids. It's a fun activity in itself. The Constantine debate should be interesting in a couple of weeks, but yeah.
Dude, there's like no conservatives left that I feel like are like actually good debaters that you haven't already debated and destroyed.
Well, you have to wait for the Trump admin to finish because most of these people, like if you look at like I'm pretty sure Myron will never even defend Trump. I don't think Andrew Wilson will defend Trump. Like none of them will even defend Trump at all. So.
Dude, that's how the whole drama started because they wouldn't debate about Trump. that was the whole.
Yeah.
And Myron still won't do it. He still won't debate. I'm trying to get one of my friends who's a conservative to get him to debate me, but he will not debate about Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is I feel like you have to stand your ground. Like if you're gonna go around and you're gonna promote the Republican Party and you're gonna do these college campus tours and you're gonna encourage people to vote for Republicans, and you have to defend Trump. Otherwise, you should just not be part of the party.
Yeah, they play this weird game. I mean, you know this. I've talked about this, right? Where it's like the people who, I think somebody even tweeted at, who did I just see this tweeted earlier today? Was it Dave Smith? Like, would you have voted for Kamala? And he's still like, no. So they do this thing where they're like, well, I'm super critical of Trump and I don't defend all the Trump admin, blah, 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 blah. And they'll say this, but you have to cut through the bullshit and just ask like, do you regret your vote? Should you have voted for Kamala? Would Kamala have been better? You have to make it a comparison because whenever you just talk about Trump, they've always got a way to infinitely fucking hedge it. And it's so pathetic.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that they won't say that. Like, I know people have asked Myron that before, and he's like, no, I still wouldn't have voted for Kamala.
Yeah, exactly. But then when they say no, that's where the conversation can start then. Oh, okay. Well, why? In what issue do you think Kamala would have been worse than Trump in? Because it's a more honest conversation. Because if you just ask them about Trump, they'll just say, like Andrew Wilson, yeah, well, I'm not here to defend Trump or MAGA or whatever. It's like, okay, we sure as fuck promoted them in the election. So it's kind of weird that you won't defend it even now, but whatever.
Yeah, well, it's hard to defend him now. Andrew is... He is I literally can't with that guy anymore. I just like out of all of them, I prefer Myron over him any day. Like he's just he's so dishonest when he's debating and he just lies. He just like constantly lies.
Well, Myron will, at least for all of his potential faults or whatever, Myron will debate you on substance, but Andrew is incapable of conversing on substance on anything. It's endless philosophy debate tricks. So
yeah, it's super. When was the last time that you debated with Andrew?
I don't know. He's dodged like the last like 3 or 4. I say dodge, but like we were supposed to do things and then he'll cancel for some reason or whatever. So I don't know if he's avoiding me or if it's other things that are coming up or what. I have no idea. Yeah.
He's definitely avoiding you because we know that he had the whole, like, we were already planned in what we were doing and then he pulled out for that bullshit reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I came at Myron because I was just like, listen, I don't care if you want to spread this like red pill fucking bullshit, but like at least like stand your ground on it and say that you're going to do that instead of just like he just wants to pull everything to be like a feminism debate and it's so boring.
Yeah, they really are like the last vanguard of that ever since the Tates disappeared. I feel like everybody else has kind of fallen to the wayside and then it's just them, doing the endless why are women the reason why the world is so horrible on everything? It seems like, well, to be fair, I haven't watched them in a while, I guess, so maybe their content has changed somewhat, but I feel like it would get boring after a while.
Yeah, no, well now he's just like all up on the Jew stuff, and that's like all like everything just like comes back to the Jews rule the world. And I actually do believe that he actually believes that because he was texting me about that. So
Okay. Yeah, I think Myron is a true believer in most of what he says. I don't think he just fronts on positions or is grifting or anything. I think he genuinely believes, yeah.
do you think he really genuinely believes like the women stuff? I don't think he believes in the women stuff.
What do you mean by genuinely believes?
Like, I just think that he's just like a closeted gay dude that's just like really angry. Like, I don't think that he's actually like, I don't think he really believes like all women should just be in the kitchen. Like, I just genuinely don't believe that.
That's possible. I don't have like a first-hand experience with a lot of like closeted gay people, so I don't know how those people would normally present. I just don't know. So maybe he is, maybe he fits that archetype, maybe he doesn't. But yeah, who knows? Anything's possible, I guess.
Dude, that's the whole Republican Party right now.
True,
Like, it's
yeah.
like they're all just like closeted gay, angry. I mean, at least like the like the Nick Fuentes side of the party, I would say.
Sure. I do think that something that people don't give enough credit for is you really can get like into a totally different reality of stuff depending on which social media hole you end up diving down. So I think like it is possible that he believes what he's saying and it's not a closeted gay thing or whatever, but he just sees so many crazy horrible women because of the social media algorithms he's in, or because people are showing him crazy horrible women, that maybe you genuinely believe that. I remember making that joke to Sneeko the first time I left the first Fresh and Fit episode I was on, where I said that if every woman I met was like the women that come on these shows, I think I would actually be an incel. but it's because they choose for a particular type of crowd, not necessarily intentionally, but just by the virtue of the content they do and who they're inviting, everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever happened to? I feel like Sneeko like totally fell off the map.
Well, getting banned from YouTube, I think, hurt him a lot. And then he's just been on. He's a young man. He's been on a lot of young man's journeys, going through a lot of different types of content. I don't know where he wound up right now, or even not even just content, but like life choices. Like, I don't know if he's still like a devout Muslim or not, or what that is, or I don't know. He's figuring it out.
that whole thing was. Did you see that Louis Theroux's making a documentary on them?
Yeah.
That's kind of the intro was weird. Did you see the like 30-second commercial that they did for it?
No, I haven't yet. I don't think I've watched much of his stuff, but I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Louis Theroux's cool. You haven't seen any of the Louis Theroux stuff?
Not much, no.
I think Louis Theroux was like the first person to do the Tiger King stuff.
Oh, huh. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, he's really cool. I love Louis Theroux stuff. He kind of reminds me a lot of Donnie that came out from CNN.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Donnie. Like I like his style. But yeah, I mean he's got this whole, I don't know if chat knows about this, but Louis Theroux is like a documentary filmmaker, and he is doing a whole thing on the Manosphere with Myron and Sneeko and a bunch of them. And I don't know, the commercial was a little weird. Like I didn't really get like the point of the commercial, but I mean knowing Louis Theroux, it's probably going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. People in chat keep saying we watched this Gaza thing. Yes, we did, but that was like a 12-minute thing. Like Louis Theroux is known for doing like long-form like documentary style stuff, not just like 12-minute YouTube videos. Yeah.
Oh, he did a Gaza thing?
I think he went and he talked to like settlers in the West Bank, and we watched that for a little bit. But it was a short. I thought it was like a short thing, or at least the clip on YouTube we saw. I thought it was a short thing.
Oh, yeah. No, I only know like his like long form stuff.
Sure. Oh, maybe there was a longer video then that I didn't watch for it, I guess.
Somebody asked, what's your take on Hassan's most recent? Hassan always says some fucking crazy shit. What is the latest crazy shit he said?
Well, right now the discourse is over. Would you vote for Gavin Newsom over JD Vance?
Oh God, don't make me crash out on Monday. I can't. I don't want to get into it with Hassan again because there's just nothing to even talk about. Like he's just, I don't even know.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to talk, like we're just like not on the same team. It's the same thing with everybody's always asking me like why I'm fighting that girl, Slay the GOP. She's like a big Hassan girl. And I fight her because she's not on our team. Like that's literally why.
Wait, for
like
which
she's
girl?
crazy. The Slay the GOP girl. Have you seen this girl?
Fuck no, I don't think is it TikTok? Different world?
Yeah, she like tries to like be on like Twitter and stuff, but she gets like fucking no engagement. She hates your ass. Like she thinks you're like the worst.
Okay.
The worst thing ever. But she hates me too, so don't worry. She hates all of us.
Slay the GOP.
Yeah, she's like, and it just frustrates me too, because like she's in Arizona, she's in a swing state, and she's just fucking, she's always causing chaos. She crashed out last time because she was like about the reality show that we're gonna apparently be in. I don't even know when that thing is getting released, but she crashed out because I said that I miss Charlie Kirk.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen this person before, but okay, yeah. Is she like a super like progressive or like kind of like a socialist tanky type or just?
She calls herself a progressive, but she's really a tanky because she's like, she doesn't believe in elections, but then she also says that she canvasses, and I'm like, okay, I'm confused. Like if you don't believe in elections through the Democratic Party and you don't want to start a third party, then why are you out there canvassing for Democrats?
Does she just canvass for like the super progressive candidates maybe?
Well, apparently not. She said that she canvassed for her local progressives, and in her area, there's not a lot of like super progressives. So I don't know who she's talking about, unless she was talking about that one woman that I can't remember her, Adelita Gravalde, who I don't even think that's in her area. But and she's not. I mean, Adelita's not like a super hardcore like leftist either. So I don't know what the fuck she was talking about.
Huh? Yeah, I have no idea then.
Yeah, but it just annoys me because I'm just like, I hate when these people like make these arguments and she gets so mad at me about like this random, like just about like the fact that I just said I miss Charlie Kirk, and she got fired from her job apparently for like saying that Charlie Kirk deserved to die or some shit. I can't remember what she said. She said some crazy stuff and she got fired for it. So
damn.
I think she's just like mad at us about that comment for some reason, but she's made like, she makes like a video about me like at least once a week. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, Queen. Wait,
yeah.
Can you give me 1 minute? She got invited to join the Unfuck America tour, but
I was reached out to about joining the
she claimed she got invited. I'm like, who invited you?
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 minute. I'm just hold on.
Which claims to fight propaganda from Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. How can I take that seriously when they platform Destiny, a known Zionist, currently under investigation for inappropriate relations with minors? That is not conviction, it's performative politics. We cannot be the party that condemns MAGA and Trump for his known affiliations with people like Epstein and then turn around and cater to people like Destiny. On top of that, there are people in that crew who openly allow racism in their live streams and then turn around and use black people as a watermark in their content to prove they're not racist. It's exploitation, and please do not confuse that for allyship. Honestly, it's insulting that they thought I would even entertain collaborating. I don't play politics for performance, and if they truly cared about conviction, they would drop Destiny. Until then, they are just proving they're no different from the grifters they claim to fight, and I'm not lending my name to that circus. So I was reached out to...
Okay. Jesus.
Wait, which one did you watch?
Apparently I'm a known, what did she say, Zionist supporter and under investigation for, was it raping kids or looking at child porn or something? And you guys also are performatively using minorities, so not good, Z. Yeah. Not good.
Yeah, we're so performative. That's the thing too, is that what annoys me about these people is that they're always going to use you as an excuse to not debate, which that pisses me off. Like older millennial does this to me all the time, where he's like, yeah, I won't debate a sex pass, but I'm like, but you voted for fucking Trump. But okay.
Yeah, Tim Pool did it with me, where he's like, oh, well, I'm worried that Destiny's going to say something to get my channel banned. Meanwhile, I think Laura Loomer, they had to delete an episode of the YouTube. What did was it Laura Loomer who said something like, we need to kill Democrats or something? Or it was some crazy unhinged thing. It was so much that they had to delete the episode because it was going to get their YouTube channel nuked. So like, yeah, it's always like pretextual with these people. They're just looking for excuses to avoid difficult conversations that they know they wouldn't be able to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is based. I respect it. Be cowards.
How annoying. I don't respect it at all. Somebody was asking, they were like, get Destiny on TikTok. Absolutely the fuck not. TikTok is, first of all, is not going anywhere. Second of all, it is just full of these tanky losers that don't want to do anything at all.
Sure.
It is not.
I mean, it's probably good to debate them. I'm just lazy, but
Is it good to debate them? I feel like it's like they become so circular, those arguments.
Oh, sorry, I meant it's good content. Is what I meant.
Yeah, I mean it is good
just
content.
farm 'em
Do you
out.
remember when you were debating Santana?
Which person was this again?
Santana's he's a black dude. He's like kind of older. He's probably like later 30s, early 40s.
Wait, was this the guy that I had a one-on-one conversation with, and we didn't really disagree on too much? But then on TikTok, they were a little bit more, or no? Or was I brought into this as part of like a group conversation?
Yeah, no, this wasn't a group conversation, but you're talking about Simple Black Theory. I actually really like Simple Black Theory. It's weird because he's very, very far left, and he almost comes off as tanky sometimes. And like, I watched the debate with you guys, that was unhinged as fuck on his part. But he also, like, I don't know, like, he's definitely like electorally, like he does care about electoral politics, and we've had like many private conversations where he's told me that like he really likes the work that we're doing. And I don't know, he's really confusing. I don't know how to feel about him sometimes, but for the most part, I'm like, if he's on our team, then I'm down for it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I met him in real life too. Like, I met him and his girlfriend, and they're both like, they're very like cool, normal people. Like, they don't give tanky vibes at all.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd encourage people to go follow. He was really simple. I don't know if you saw like his content when he was during like the Nick Shirley thing, but he was getting millions of views during that. He was debunking everything, and that stuff was really good.
I might have watched one of his videos and I didn't even remember that was him. It's possible.
Yeah, I think you probably did, because he was like the first person that started doing all that. But yeah, I've talked to him a couple times and like offline and stuff, and I think he's pretty cool. But yeah, Santana's like the worst of them. Also, have you heard about this whole drama now with Dean and Tashiko?
No, who's Tashiko? I don't know any of these people. I'm so sorry. I'm booming hard.
Oh, no, you're good. Well, you know Dean.
Yeah, I know Dean. I don't know who Tashiko is.
Tashiko is the original microaggressions.
Okay, gotcha. Well, what is their issue right now?
So they're just they're having a new meltdown over, I don't even, it's so fucking deep and TikTok complicated. I don't even know where to start. But if your audience is interested in going to look into that, if you just put it into the search bar in TikTok, you'll see a bunch of stuff come up.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's a whole thing. Dean just like released a whole video on it with like an hour worth of apparent receipts or whatever. And
is it over somebody being like racist, or over somebody being like scamming somebody, or what is the general, like in the broadest term?
I don't know. So it's like there's this like the whole like debate me bro world, but there's another debater that I guess her name's AG. She's like a younger lesbian woman. She always like does like the lesbian debates. And apparently there was like some non-consensual sex thing that happened, and then like I guess Dean got involved because he wanted to like defend her against Tashika, because he's mad at Tashika about some like past drama that like they've had where Tashika basically called him a racist and he didn't like that, and now he's like out for revenge. It's a whole thing. There's many layers. This is why I don't think like anyone should go on TikTok, because I feel like TikTok is just brain rot to the like, because Dean, like I think Dean would be so great if he just got off TikTok and just
it definitely seems like they managed to, it feels like, although maybe I'm biased because of the platforms I'm on, it feels like they managed to distill like the worst parts of the YouTube or streamer debater world. Like they've distilled it into the absolute worst parts of it, and then that exists on TikTok.
Yeah, literally, that's exactly what it is the worst. It's the worst part, and they always are attacking each other and not the other side. That's also like a huge. And I only ever see that on TikTok. Like I don't see that on like Instagram and other platforms really. Like I feel like it's like mainly a TikTok thing.
Sure.
Somebody said, what's a lesbian debate? She does like, so like on TikTok, I don't know if you guys have like seen how they like set the debates up, but they have like a background and they have whatever the question is. So I think hers, like the girl that like is in this drama, I think she does the like, why is being lesbian wrong is like her prompt. Okay. Dean used to do these too. Dean and Parker both used to like Dean and Parker used to never debate Trump stuff ever. They used to just do like, is being gay wrong? Parker used to do the God debate a lot too.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Though there are certain communities, I think it's like the there are certain communities online that breed like the hardcore debater archetype. The vegans will do it. Some of like the apologetics communities, like the Islamic ones or like the atheist ones will do it, or the presuppositional ones will do it. Like they breed a certain type of, not saying necessarily it's good or bad. Oh, I don't like it. I guess I'm saying it's bad, but like it's very much like it's the type of community where somebody will say like, do you think it's possible that this person said this thing, and the person will respond like, is it logically possible that in all universes, like it'll be like that type of debate, and then the endless like pedantry back and forth over shit like that. Yeah, those are the good times.
They're kind of boring, to be honest. Like most of them are pretty boring for the most part.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't recommend like anybody go to TikTok, to be honest. It just sucks.
Wow.
But yeah, does anybody have questions about the tour that I can help with? I know I've been saying I'm gonna come on stream forever, and I just never, because you're always streaming like right in the middle of my work day.
Yeah. I also usually just do adversarial content, but you know.
Yeah, true.
It's like to fight with people.
Yeah, no, we don't really fight enough. We should find something to fight over.
No, not yet. Let's wait a little bit longer, okay?
Not yet. Not yet. Ease them into it. Is the Australia? I grew up in Australia, so if you hear like a bit of an Australian accent, it's probably why you think that. But yeah, are you excited to do some more camp? I know you don't like to debate the college kids, but like,
well, I shouldn't have said that. Was a little harsh. I can like, it's not bad. It's okay. I prefer like the more challenging debates, I guess. Yeah, I feel bad sometimes just because they're college kids, you know.
Yeah, no,
I'm not a Smurf at heart, all right. I'm not. It's just not my thing.
Well, if you go to UCLA, you're gonna get like probably some pretty good debates at UCLA.
Sure.
Because those kids are smart. Somebody said, sorry, I lost your comment, but why did IRI have to pay for his own ticket? Everybody has to pay for their own ticket because we don't have any money right now. That's just like, so that's just the truth of the matter. Like if we, like I don't pay Steven. We really don't have money to be paying for people to go, unfortunately. If you guys donate more money, we'll pay for IRI.
Or get my YouTube channel back. That's what your effort should be going to, okay? Use your Jew connections and figure out how to bring that back, okay?
Seriously though, that would be nice. But I'd love to bring IRI out. I mean, we're gonna invite him to UCLA because he's in the area, so he can come out, and that would be cool. I'm trying to get Mockler back. Do you guys want Mockler back?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Desperately.
Although I feel like, well, I don't know. I guess what Mockler does. I feel like I'd want to use Mockler for debates, like having like somebody. Although I guess Mockler did like his man on the streets thing, so maybe he likes that environment. He might have better ideas for it too. Yeah.
I think you guys in the tent would be great together. You don't think?
Yeah, we could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. People like you guys together. I think you guys debate really well together. And Mockler's just great. I love Mockler's team is like literally like our team, I feel.
Yeah, and they're all like 19, 20-year-olds too. It's crazy. Oh my God, working with his team at the event, it was insane how young these people are. But it's like, it's really cool. And they're all like really smart. They're super competent at what they do. That one, I wish I could remember his name. The first debater, I suck with people's names. If you know this right now. The first debater that went up, is it Micah? Name? It's not Micah, is it?
Micah.
Is it?
Micah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. All right. I always don't want to call this guy Micah because when I think of Micah, I think of that weird conservative guy. You know what I'm thinking of, right? Micah?
Oh yeah, I know who you're thinking. No, yeah, Micah. No, Micah's like he's like just starting his social medias, and he's really good.
Yeah, he was asking questions before, because I heard him chatting with people, asking for like tips on like how to debate a certain topic or whatever. And I kind of just, because my expectations are reasonable, especially because this guy's like super young, and I kind of thought that it was just going to be a very amateurish thing because he's an amateur. It's fine. But when he had his debate, the first thing I was like, oh my God, this guy's like pretty fucking smart. And yeah, and all these guys are super competent. They all know the areas that they do really well for Adam's team. And yeah, they're very, very, very impressive people. Those guys will go far, hopefully, as long as they don't rape or kill anybody or anything weird happens. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love his whole team. There's like they end up coming back to like the Airbnb and hanging out with us, and we're all just like the same people. Like we're, the last of the electoral people left. I feel like, but I love everybody on his team. Like Nate is so fucking great, and I don't know how he found all these guys, but They're really awesome. We're gonna do a lot more work with them, especially as we get closer to the election for sure.
Cool.
Somebody's asking if Mockler and Hassan would debate. Hassan would never debate Mockler. Like that would
Careful.
just never
Apparently
ever
they
happen.
just agreed to this morning, so we'll see how that goes.
No way. Did they?
On Hassan's stream. Hassan is in his phase right now where he goes back and forth between wanting to be like a Marxist-Leninist tanky guy and then also wanting to just be like a progressive who wants healthcare for everybody. And he's very much in his progressive who just wants to help everybody phase. So he's been saying like really positive things about like the mainstream media and how important it is to work with everybody in the media and all the media because he likes these like favorable articles that he gets and he's trying to expand his reach that way since he can't really do it in any adversarial way. So yesterday I think he was saying if Brian Tyler Cohen or any of these guys, want to debate about this JD Vance, Gavin Newsom thing. So he's trying desperately to kind of like build his credibility in that direction right now.
Dude, he's not going to win that debate. Why would he even agree to? Why would he? Agree
Well, it's not going to be a
That's
debate.
crazy.
It's going to be Hassan trying to endlessly posture on like the most agreeable topics ever. So like my guess is going to be that Hassan is going to go in there, and the position that he's going to occupy is that. We shouldn't commit ourselves to any candidate right now. And aren't there things that you want that are to the left of Gavin Newsom? So we should push the Democrats to be better and support those candidates. And we don't want the Democratic Party to think that we'll settle for Newsom if we could push for like an AOC. That's going to be the whole conversation. And then it'll just be up to Adam for how hard he wants to push on that, because that's a pretty agreeable, lukewarm take. And almost everybody on the left would agree with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but his comment was that he wouldn't vote for him if he was the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, but he's always going to find a way to weasel away from that. He'll just say, I don't want to signal right now that this is the candidate that I would settle for. And or he'll say something. People switch between descriptive and prescriptive depending on where they feel the strength of the argument is too. He'll say something along the lines of like, it's not about who I would vote for. It's that if Gavin Newsom was the candidate, then that means that we've already lost. It'll be like stupid, like nonsense statements like this or something. You have to, like, if you really want to get to the heart of the issue, you have to push in the most artistic way possible. You have to be like, there is an election that just happened. It's 100 million to 100 million. You are the deciding vote. Do you vote for this or that? Like, it has to be like a question like that. Yeah. Because even in the big clip that blew up, he was like, "Well, I'm just an influencer. It's not like I can determine the outcome of the like." You just like say retarded, stupid shit like this because nobody's actually pushing him on his take. So.
That's really like I get it. Like I totally agree that we should have primaries that are probably a little bit more fair for sure. But I don't get like once we have the nominee, like we have the nominee. Like what do you mean? Unless you're starting a third party, like what is the other option?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I do believe that we should have a very good primary, though. Like, I want us to have a strong primary. I'd love to, because that way, like, if we actually have these people run and then they don't do well, like, what is the,
Nope,
like,
wrong,
what is,
wrong. You're
what
wrong.
is he gonna say?
If they already have their excuses for that. These are already like pre-baked. Like people on Twitter are already running with these. It's because there's been an investment from the CIA and the U.S. government to always undermine communism or socialism in the United States because they're worried about the ideology, or it'll be because corporate Dems are suppressing the genuine interest in these people, so they were never given fair coverage in the media and blah blah blah. There's like an infinite set of excuses. If they win, it's because the American public really wants them. If they lose, it's also because the American public really wants them, but they're being suppressed by like a deep state-esque figure. Basically, it's how it always goes.
Yeah, it's stupid as fuck. Like, yeah. As like a Bernie person, I don't know. I mean, Bernie he didn't win the primary, so that's why we didn't get him. But I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't a lot of bullshit that happened in the 2016 primary, because there definitely was, for sure. Do people ever ask you about that?
Let's maintain our friendship, okay?
Listen, I'm not hardcore anymore because it's not fucking 2016 anymore, and I feel like we're in a very, very different country. I don't mind Gavin Newsom. I don't have any issue with Gavin Newsom. I think he's fine. I think he could definitely beat fucking JD. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he should, I think anybody can be JD Vance. To be honest, JD Vance is yeah.
Do you think AOC could beat JD though?
I think almost anybody could be JD Vance. I think JD Vance is just a deeply unlike. I don't even know if JD Vance would win in a primary in the Republican Party right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Very unlikable.
But then, like, I guess, like, who is going to be the Republican nominee then?
I have no idea. The whole world wants to know the answer to that question. Nobody knows what comes after Trump.
I know, that's the... Well, once we, like... I feel like once we get closer and we figure that out, then we can know, like, we'll know who is going to be our best bet. I think like going up against him. But listen, I don't have any issue with like the Zoran AOC side of the party. I just don't think that they can win in swing districts or red districts.
I think they know that though. Like all of their messaging has been pretty consistent on that. I think that's why I like Mamdani so much. He seems to have a respect for the battlefield. But like the problem is that the AOC and Mamdani are very like politics minded, but their followers, or at least the loud ones on social media, are not very politics minded. So they'll be like performatively purist on every position. But just the ones online are, because if you think about it, even like Bernie bros, people will complain that they didn't vote and blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm pretty sure like 95% of the people that supported Bernie ended up voting for like Hillary Clinton. Like, it's not like these people are, fuck it, Bernie didn't win, so 90% of them stayed at home or something,
No, yeah, almost all of them, I would say. I mean, I had a couple of like weird people that I worked with on Bernie's campaign that ended up going to work for Trump. But
the people you work with, those are, you're selecting for like a more out there demographic of people, right? Like the people who were around Bernie close to him, a lot of those people were fucking crazy. People like Brianna Joy Gray and all those people were insane,
Brianna's like, actually. like actually crazy. I remember she was fighting me on the jank stuff too, and I'm just like, you guys are just like not in reality. Like that's my biggest issue with people like this. And
dude, jank did the same fucking path that I've complained about to my stream, where when you have somebody that approaches you and they're like, have you seen this thing from Candace? Isn't this kind of weird? When somebody sends you that message, that person's already gone. And no matter what you say or do, in 6 months, they're going to be a fucking neo-Nazi. It's just every single time, right? And I'm pretty sure, I feel like you could go back, somebody needs to go back and find my stream VODs, because I'm pretty sure I said this. When Jenk and Anna started doing this, like, I don't know, what about Building 7? I'm like, oh, that's it. In a year, these guys are going to be saying the Jews did 9/11, and that's where they're at. Yeah, Jenk is now completely on that side. He's even using... I don't know how much you're online for like the neo-Nazi stuff, but you know that like occupied, that's like a neo-Nazi dog whistle, right? Like a Zionist occupied government and shit. And so when you see Jenk tweeting out things like, oh, like the U.S. government is fully occupied, like that's a whistle to that Jews control the whole U.S. government and everything. Yeah.
That's so like.
And he made that tweet this morning, so yeah. Sorry, God.
Yeah, I saw that tweet that he put. I was like, fuck, this is. Yeah, Jenk has lost it, seriously. Like when I was working for TYT, like it's been almost 10 years now. Like I feel like nobody there was like this. Like all of this shit is like brand new.
Yeah, although TYT has produced questionable people, because Dave Rubin came from TYT, right? Did Tim Pool ever have a TYT affiliation or no?
I don't think so. When I worked for TYT,
Jimmy Dore, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Dore was there when I was there. But when I was working there, I was working with the investigative reporting team. So this was like, I'm sure a bunch of you guys know these people, like Jordan Sheridan, Nomiki Konst, Ryan Grimm.
Oh God.
You know those folks? Like it was basically like a bunch of them. And I mean, for the most part, like those people were like fairly normal. And then some of them took like a hard turn. I don't know where Ryan's at these days, and if he's like taken like a hard tanky turn or not.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but some of them, Dave Rubin, and I don't know, he wasn't there when I was there, but yeah, I think like Hassan had like just started as well. I never like interacted with him there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy like how they could just like go so far off the fucking deep end like so fast. Like even Anna too. Like Anna was not off the deep end at all when I was working there. Like she was very, very normal.
Well,
everybody in the chat, you know Ryan? Do you know Ryan?
Ryan Grimm? Oh yeah. He's like a Greenwald to me now. I think he's like a clone of him. But
well, he took a hard turn too. Yeah, Michael Tracy was there too.
Okay, Tracy, I don't like a lot of his takes, but I appreciate that Tracy is his own person. I can appreciate that at least, even though I think he was off on a lot of shit. I do appreciate that part of him.
Yeah. I didn't even know, is he still around these days? Like, I haven't seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, I think he's got like a Substack, and I think he has a YouTube channel, but he's on Twitter a lot.
Oh, somebody said Ryan who got his phone tossed by Jesse Waters. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that did happen when he got his phone tossed by Jesse Waters.
What like he threw his phone at him or what?
Yeah, like I think Jesse Waters like threw his like phone at him like very aggressively. Nice. I can't remember when that happened. I think it happened a long time ago though. But yeah, Jesse Waters is is insane.
Yeah.
And still thinks I'm trans to this day.
Nice. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Even post baby, I guess.
Well.
Yeah. But I just want to come in, just, chill, say hey.
All right. Well, I'll
Don't
talk to
take
you.
over your day.
Yeah. Chat with you later. Should be fun. UCLA, and yeah.
Yeah, and everybody remember, go to the website, send in a donation if you can. If you guys send in more money, we will pay for IRI. I promise you that. We will. And sign up for a college chapter and do all the things.
All the things.
Love
What's
y'all.
the website?
Nationalgroundgame.com. Or you can go to the Unfuck America Tour website too. You can go to that as well.
What's that website? Say the URLs.
Oh, sorry. Unfuckamericatour.com.
There you go. Okay. Cool.
Cool, guys. Talk to y'all later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, was that a snitch scanner? Oh no, they're doing wasps. It's not even a special event though, right? Or whatever, they're just snubbing. Did I make top 1K? No, dude. But last week was super competitive. Or it wasn't super competitive, there were just a lot of maxed out events. I want to get top 500 Cantina. But there are like 3 events here that have like top scores. So the big grindy ones, the big cuck ones are going to be there's a one for killing wasps. And I don't know what the other one is. Is it for killing ticks? I don't know how you're going to grind the tick one. I guess it's going to be on Stella. And I think for the wasp one, you're probably like 3 people are going to have to load in with inventories full of snitch scanners. Is my guess. Anderson Cooper is leaving 60 minutes after nearly 20 years. How many points were you on at the end of last week? Fuck, I don't remember. Was it 240k? At last night, I think you saw, before I quit my stream. What? Where's the guy that messages me that tells me how to go into the network settings and change my Twitter volume?
Hey, hello. What does it imply about
I'm getting trolled, bro.
the Labour Party? He's trying to say that Matt could win.
Oh, you were not close. I think like 400k people were not getting in. No shot is that true. I don't believe you. I think 400k would have been like... No, wait, what? Are you just making shit up? I don't even know if the Rank 1 Cantina had 400k. Myron had a very sweatstaining interaction at his college debate. I'll find link. There's no way that 1,000 people had 400k plus points, unless there was some crazy exploit that I didn't know about, or that I think he meant 300k. He might have meant 300k, maybe though. But that's crazy if even 300k people weren't getting in. But the guy that I was running it with, that I'm anchor weighing down, Prying Mind, I think he had 250k and he didn't get in at all. So. Oh, okay. Thank you, Corey. I love you. Okay. Chrome flag. Hold on. Do I have to enable and then disable this thing? Relaunch.
I feel like...
Oh, don't care about that. All right. Okay, there we go. Oh, and it's fucking quiet as fuck anyway, so good troll.
That's right. The Labour Party is trying to say that Matt Goodwin is far right. What are these people talking about? Right? But if you keep talking in that language, people will then... The reason they talk in this language is so they feel that they can attack people and not their argument. After my question time appearance, some fucking publication I've never heard of wrote a thing about, what did the far right podcaster really say about Rishi Sunak? Like, I'm far right now. I'm far right. I'm in the 1990s and 2000s. I consistently voted for the Liberal Democrats, and I have changed literally none of my opinions since then, other than on tax. running trigonometry, a small business, has taught me a lot about the way money works and economics works. And so I'm probably slightly less redistributionist now at a corporate level. At a personal level, like I said, I'm happy to pay a high level of tax. But at a corporate level, we need very, very low corporate tax rates if we're going to encourage business and growth in the country. So that's the only opinion I've changed since I used to vote Lib Dem. Now I'm far right. That's what happened.
Wow.
Because in 2000, nobody was saying mass illegal immigration is good. Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders and all the left-wing politicians from the 2000s, if you go and read their statements now, they sound far, far to the right of Tony fucking Robinson.
That's the level of Tony Robinson? Okay.
Of shift that has happened on this issue. I've always believed the same thing about immigration, right? Legal immigration is fine and, in fact, desirable if the level and quality and type of people is what the country needs at that time, right? That's a statement, that's a truism, a statement of the bleeding obvious. If bringing more people in of a certain caliber now benefits your country, that is a good thing, right? And illegal immigration should be zero.
Okay. This is Ahmed, and today he is more liberal than most young Americans.
I'm young Emirati, and today I am more liberal than most young Americans.
Liberalism is not the lack of clothes you wear.
I don't, okay. Representative Don Bacon becomes the first Republican co-sponsor of a Dem-led constitutional amendment to give Congress the power to reject presidential pardons. Ooh,
so,
based?
All right.
Oh, man. Slay the GOP. Okay. Let's see how this convo goes. A little bit of it. Oh, boy.
The people have this expectation, though, or a particular sore spot when it comes to certain people on the left from an electoral perspective that we can get into. But I think the sensitivities rise when it comes to people like the Vanguard, people like Hassan Piker, and people.
Papa Gut hates Destiny. Oh, wait. There was a Papa Gut video. Oh, it was this. Sorry. I was thinking Andrew Wilson video. Your camera aspect ratio is fucked. Something is happening here with you're either squishing this on OBS, you're doing some capture and you're squishing it, but this guy, whoever this bottom guy is, Vanguard Pod, he's fucking his camera up and it triggers the fuck out of me.
Like, let me think of another one. Have you heard of Brianna?
Which is kind of wild, given the fact that my voting record is I voted for Hillary Clinton, I voted for Joe Biden, and then I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why do people do this shit? It's so boring. Okay, I should start with like 1 hour, and that's like my charitable. As long as nobody says something retarded, I'll listen for 1 hour. And then every time somebody says something like just irredeemably stupid, then I just like dock you 10 minutes. Like, nobody cares who you're voting for. It's not about who you're voting for. It's about how enthusiastically and how effectively are you telling your audience to vote. This isn't about your individual vote, little bro. Why do people do this? It's such a retarded thing.
So like, I don't know why people get this like crazy idea that like we're somehow like it's impossible to work with us. Like just because we're vocal critics of some of the bad decisions the Democratic Party has made, like it would be very interesting. And you know, it kind of is, I think, what's really put offish to people about the like establishment, insular, democratic, liberal group thing, right? Where it's like there are so many people. Like 2-3 days ago, Gavin and I were at an ICE protest, right? And we're saying get the fuck out of Kansas City with a bunch of people who may have not even shown up to vote at all in November. A bunch of people who maybe have never participated in a general election in their lives. A bunch of people who probably thought it wasn't worth it to show up. But here they are. They're now mobilized. They're now ready to go. Those are people that need to be a part of our movement. So when you say who is a part of our movement, I think we need to embrace people, right? The Democratic Party loves to talk about being a big tent party, but usually they're talking about being a big tent party for people who went to college and for people who have a lot of money, right?
Oh.
We need to be a big tent party for people who are getting fucked by ICE. We need to be a big tent party for people who are really concerned for their neighbors. We need to be a big tent party for people who maybe did not understand the severity of the situation we were up against before, November of last year, or November of 2 years ago at this point, right? Because there was so much misinformation, right? We need to understand that people are awake now. They're ready to join our coalition, and that we can mobilize them because they're pissed off. It seems so silly to me to be like, 18 months ago we had a really severe political disagreement over something that's really functionally irrelevant right now. Let's not work together at all to collaborate against this massive threat we're facing. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I would much rather be like, right now we're facing the
like, everything he's saying is fine. Oh, cool. Okay, so we should. So if a moderate liberal candidate wins the primary, you would vote for him for president? That's like an easy yes. And then, okay, cool. Now everything you're saying is like, we can take it seriously. We can have a conversation. That's fine. Like, you're in a strong position. Would he say yes to that though?
existential threat of the Donald Trump regime, the Fourth Reich. ICE is terrorizing our fucking communities. We have Gestapo in the streets. The Constitution is being shredded. My father, who's considered himself a Republican his entire life, texted me after that man was killed yesterday and said, I'm for the first time in my life afraid of the fact that we're going to lose our rights in this country. A veteran of the United States military, right? So things are changing right now. Our coalitions are changing, and we're redrawing the lines into people who believe America is a nation of laws, people who believe in the Constitution, people who believe in the vision of the founding fathers that we're, a melting pot society, and people who oppose that, and people who want to bring in fascism and totalitarianism. And I think that's the fight we're up against.
Gavin, I want to get your take before I respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Zach. I also think it's interesting that so many people that are on the more like, I'm a dedicated Democratic warrior and it's heresy to criticize Joe Biden. It seems like a lot of those people nowadays are increasingly voicing.
Why did, like, you shouldn't let people, it's heresy to criticize Joe Biden? Who are these people? Names. You got to focus on examples. You got to focus on examples. You got to force people to get, no more theys. I've said this a lot. No more they, thems in politics. All right? If you're going to identify an enemy or identify a bad thing, you need to specify who the fuck you're talking about. Because the entire fucking media apparatus on the left and the right and the alt-left and the alt-right and the centrist and everywhere, everybody was criticizing Joe Biden. Who the fuck? Why? Imagine coming into the presidency and you're like, yeah, everybody's like, we're not allowed to criticize Joe Biden. He literally got bullied out of the election, probably for the first time in U.S. history like that. The incumbent got bullied out by his own fucking party.
Their frustrations with the way that the Biden administration handled Trump, and specifically the way that they faltered in their attempts to actually contain the threat that was Donald Trump and his movement. I mean, I see it.
How? What do you mean contain the threat? What, should Biden have started rounding him up and arresting him? Base? But like, what do you mean by that? Give it policy. What did he fail at? What did he need to do here that you're not happy with?
Ton of content from the whole, like, live and learn faction of content creators talking about how, Merrick Garland is a fucking disgrace, and how, in retrospect, like, Joe Biden and Merrick Garland allowed all of this to happen. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. Like, that's part of the reason why we were so...
The Garland stuff is fair criticism. Although that's the one thing that Pisco doesn't agree with.
Critical of Joe Biden and the Democrats in the first place, and part of the reason why it feels like the analysis of a lot of progressives and more socialist types has come crystal clear, which is that, yeah, the Democrats not only did enable the rise of Trump, not only did they open the door to it, but they continue to enable it. The corporate Democrats...
I will say, though, it is funny that all these, like, lefties have kind of, like, harped on this Merrick Garland shit when they didn't really give a fuck about, like, Jan 6 or the, like, the document stuff. Like, lefties have never really given a fuck about these talking points. They've kind of, like, seized on them now because they see that, like, well, maybe putting him in prison would have been a way to make it so he couldn't get elected again, which was unironically what the conservatives were accusing the left of doing. Can you please come here? Come to me. Ugh, I'm not going to get that kill. I need this snitch scanner. But now they've, like, seized on this Merrick Garland talking point when none of them gave a fuck about that before. Learn to do this.
So now I'm going over how to save your snap hook and put it in your safe pocket midair. Obviously, this was popularized by Tfue. Instantly, you want to hit the object you're snapping to, hit it. It'll make the sound of clicking, and then you roll back like this and put it into your safe pocket. Here's an example. You're going to want to hear it actually, like, hook on.
I'm good on this shit.
Democrats basically just, voted and allowed the funding of ICE to go through to the degree to which Donald Trump wants it. I mean, this is crazy. And it feels like, now everyone's finally waking up to that because the reality of the situation is so obvious. But to Zach's point, yeah, there is a lot of liberals out there.
Wait, was the, fuck, I need to know I should know the answer to this right off the top of my head. Did any Democrat vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill, or was that able to get through on like a basically a budget reconciliation thing to where you didn't need any Democrat? I think it was 6 Democrats for the ICE stuff. Was it, or was it related to opening the government or just passing the bill? Fuck, I don't remember. JD Vance was used? Oh, well, if Vance was the tiebreaker, then... Oh my fucking God.
There that, have been woken up. They've been radicalized. The I've Had It podcast ladies come to mind as a real sort of manifestation of this trend. Jennifer Welch talks a lot about how she voted for Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. She kind of bought the MSNBC bullshit. She was a Cory Booker fan, all this kind of stuff. But now she's like, oh, wait, what the fuck? It was actually the progressives. It was actually the Bernie bros. It was actually the socialists that were 100% right about how it's weak sauce, milquetoast, corporate Democrat bullshit that actually totally enables fascism. Joe Biden sat there for 4 long fucking years and refused to really do anything serious about Trump. I mean, they had the Epstein files there. They could have released that. They could have exposed the fact that he's a goddamn pedophile. They didn't. And now he's taken over the country, and it seems like we're more and more a dictatorship with every passing day. So it seems like anyone who's criticizing Joe Biden and the fecklessness of his administration has been totally vindicated. And it seems like even the hardcore Democrat defending libs are now admitting it.
Yeah, so I got a lot of response to that. The first is, I think a point of contact on this, unfortunately, might be to talk about a recent moment with Hassan. And I think that this will sort of crystallize where I think the libs are coming from. Because, to be honest, I criticize a lot of Democratic leadership. Schumer, I think I've been saying for months and months and months and months, he needs to go. I've been talking shit about the 7 House members, Tom Suozzi, Glusen Camp-Perez, now I'm not forgetting Jared Golden, among others, who voted for the additional DHS funding. And I've taken shit with them being weak on the shutdowns and all that stuff. And so I understand criticism of Democrats. And I respect criticism of Democrats. I called Joe Biden's pardon of his son corrupt as shit. I said that he violated the law. And
to be clear, Pisco always gets this wrong, but since I think I'm the one who called it out, he'll never correct himself on it. There was absolutely nothing wrong with Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter Biden. Arguably, you could say that it was one of the few appropriate uses of the pardon power. Arguably, you could say that that was one of the few. The problem wasn't him pardoning Hunter Biden. It was him saying he would never do it and then doing it. That's the issue, right? And I think there's probably fair criticism there for him to say he was never going to pardon him and then to do it afterwards. He should have had the foresight to see how crazy Republicans are when it comes to shit, and that shouldn't have been an option he was trying to arbitrarily take off the table. But the idea that like the pardoning of his son was corrupt, unless we think pardoning any family member is corrupt, but like what if people are going after your family because they're family? I think that's crazy.
Closing down the border illegally when he tried to do that when his bill didn't work. And then he just tried to like usurp the law and basically cancel asylum. And it didn't seem like there were many Democrats who were willing to do that. Even though I didn't think that he did anything criminal with respect to the her report, I still criticized his conduct with respect to the her report. And so I have no problem with criticisms of Democrats. And I think the problem is calibration. And let me give you a point of contact. Hassan Piker goes to Minnesota. Great. Criticizing ICE. Great. Wonderful. Bringing attention to the fact, as you guys are, that DHS and more specifically ICE and CBP are acting like Gestapo thugs. Awesome. Has an interview. The interview asks a question about like, well, how are Democrats measuring up to the role? Offers criticism, some of it true. Democrats need to be stronger. Democrats need to be willing to fight more. But that is not couched with a critical phrase. And that critical phrase is the following.
We're infinitely
you need
better than...
to support the Democratic Party in this context.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true that our leadership is weak at times. And yes, it's true with particular members, they say shit that isn't...
Please have a... Is this going to be a serious conversation, or is it going to be the strategy that I just suggested that Hassan is going to take, where it's like, well, we're just criticizing them to make them stronger and better, and we don't want to capitulate early on when we're trying to make them better. If we give in now, then they're not going to do anything.
Either true or isn't wise or isn't good strat. But obviously, the Democrats are way superior on every level to the deprivations of the MAGA Republicans. Now, I respect your voting records. I respect the fact that you voted for the Democrats, but I think it's unconscionable, really.
Also, by the way, the whole idea that you shouldn't support the Dems now so that they pick a better Democrat, just so you know, I don't know if I've said this before, I'm sorry, just so you know why this is such a toxic idea, you can support them and push for a better candidate. The reason why they say don't support them if they're not willing to give on this is because in their mind, the Democratic Party doesn't do free and fair elections. It's all rigged. So the reason why you can't give in right now is because if you give in now and you support the moderate candidate, then the Democrats will rig the primaries so that no progressive can win. That's why they say that. So so this whole point, the underline of this point is that all the primaries and all the voting shit and everything is rigged anyway. So this is why it's such a fucking annoying talking point.
To, in this moment, continue to be unclear, or at least sometimes equivocating, or sometimes kind of like gesturing at what I think most Democrats and even the base ones that you're referring to, and I have seen that trend. I'm not saying I haven't. Like, you're right about the I've had it girls and they're, the base tweets from Kyle Kalinske. But it's the recognition.
I haven't seen the Kyle, or the Hassan Piker statement that you're specifically talking about. I'd love to actually.
How long ago was this? 1 day ago? They haven't heard about any of this discourse? Their Twitter account that's so fucking active, they haven't made a single comment on this? Can anybody check that? I don't believe that. No shot. These guys haven't heard about any of that? Oh my god. Oh. Okay, on that roof.
Hear the quote from Hassan, because I mean, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Hassan Piker says. We've criticized Hassan Piker on the show, and I feel like Zach and I do make it abundantly clear, including in the last election cycle, even when we had to support a fucking party that was committing a genocide. Even under those circumstances, we literally were like, "Yep, got to support Kamala, guys. There's no other fucking option. The Green Party is unserious. Fuck Jill Stein. Just vote for Kamala."
No,
So
I want to be clear in terms of the third party stuff with you guys. Like, I don't think there can be any doubt that with respect to the Green Party shit, the Jill Stein stuff, I saw you guys talk about that stuff, and I'm not saying that you didn't. I'm not saying that you didn't say that Kamala Harris. I think I'm just trying to get you the feeling of what some libs and Democrats in my audience think is like, are these people committed to this project, the project of defeating it? Not necessarily you guys. Go for it, Zach.
Yeah, so I can speak to that a little bit, right? Because I understand that there is frustration that kind of like takes over your mind, and I'll use it for an example of the Vanguard, right? So you have people in your audience right now who think that we're like Democrat haters, I would imagine, who think that we're like the devil and that we don't want anything good for the Democratic Party, right? But for all of those people, there's also tons of people on the left who think that we're sellouts. They call us the shit lib guard. They talk about how because we supported Kamala Harris, we're genocide fucking supporters, talking about how we have blood on our hands, talking about how we're unserious, how we've sold every principle that we have, right? We really take shit from all sides, and I think that at least if
I really think an interesting question to ask to show if somebody is seriously and honestly engaging with the subject matter, or just is a person who's capable of introspecting, is asking somebody, why do you think people have this opinion, right? Because it's totally possible that people can have opinions of you for the incorrect reason that you don't actually hold those positions, right? Can you not go do something else? But you should be able to speak honestly to like, why do you think people think this of you? You know, rather than just like, well, some people have this totally random idea. We don't know where it comes from. It's like, okay, bro.
anybody, wants to look at our record, you can be like, these are two guys that stand on their own feet. And we have always made it clear that, like, obviously we're going up against a criminal, beyond the pale party when it comes to the Republican Party. And I think that I've even, made an effort to adjust my own personal commentary, right? Because I came up very insular in progressive politics. Gavin and I came up, we were in the shit, right? We were in the weeds. We had very, very niche political opinions, and we built our show around that, right? And so we've always had a focus on independent, left-wing progressive media. Sure. People are like, why do you guys talk about that all the time? And it's because it's our beat, right? Gavin and I didn't have the pedigree to come on here. Like, Pisco, you're a very educated guy. You're a lawyer. You're very well informed. Gavin and I were two guys in my bedroom. We thought, what do we know? We know about this very niche progressive scene that's happening right here, and we built our entire channel around it. And so people come on our channel and they're like, hey, it seems like you're talking a lot about this and not about this. That's totally true, right? It's kind of like going on to a sports show and being like, damn, they're really talking about the Chiefs.
This convo was the one that happened a few weeks ago. This part convo with Josiah, Pisco, and Hutch. This was recorded before that. Oh, wait. Is this conversation weeks old? Oh, in that case, maybe he hadn't heard about it at this point. Wait, why the fuck am I being linked this then if this is a weeks old conversation? Bro, go away. Certainly there is somebody else for you to fucking eat besides me. You're not supposed to be on roofs, Mr. Spider. Bruh.
A lot, or wow, they're really talking about the Patriots a lot. It's like, yeah, that's because that's what their show is about. But if you actually listen to our live streams, you'll hear the first 45 minutes of us going through the news of the day. You'll hear us talking about the fascist threat of the Donald Trump administration. You'll hear us affirm over and over and over again that the worst Democrat, the fucking dirt on the bottom of your shoe, I'm talking about a guy like Joe Manchin, who doesn't even call himself, I think he's officially an independent now, just like Christian Cinema. A guy like that is immeasurably better. If we had President Joe Manchin, I would feel the urge to at least take a huge sigh of relief by a mile, right? Because I would understand that there's not going to be lawlessness in the streets. I would understand that he's not going to be enriching himself to the tune of $1 billion off of a cryptocurrency scam with a special envoy to the Middle East Suns, the Witkoff brothers. I would understand that we're not going to be doing all of these things. That's all clear. The Qatari jet, absolutely, right? We're not going to do abductions illegally in the middle of the night. We're not going to violate international law. We're not going to ruin America's standing by threatening to take over Greenland. We're not going to do a bunch of obnoxious tariffs that don't make any sense, right? Just so I can get a little insider trading bump from my homies as I crash the American dollar and try and buy up shit on the cheap, which is his plan, right? You're going to get all of that analysis if you listen to the Vanguard, but it's also true. You are watching a podcast hosted by the last death rattle of the Bernie Bro movement. That's us, right? And we don't make any apologies for that. That's our fucking politics. Medicare for all. No new wars. Fucking Green New Deal right fucking now. Raise the minimum wage. That's what we stand for, right? And so if a politician runs and they say, I don't fucking support that, then we say, hey man, that's a fucking problem. And when they do say, hey man, I'm sorry, ICE isn't a state terror organization, Mr. Ben Shapiro, let me kiss your ass. Oh, hey, Mr. Ben Shapiro, it's not a genocide in Gaza. Let me kiss your ass. I say, that's not presidential, and you don't represent me. And I don't care that you're the de facto presumed nominee because your values aren't compatible with mine. And so people might get their feathers ruffled and be like, he's on my team. Why did you say that? Because I care about values. I'm in the ethics business, okay? I don't care about whether or not people throw mud at me or tell me I'm a shit lib or tell me I have blood on my hands. I've already heard before.
I appreciate that answer. And to be honest, like, it's not just you guys who have been critical of Gavin Newsom at the start. I don't know if you recall, he did his podcast circuit with Charlie Kirk, with Steve Bannon, Michael Savage, some of these people. And,
Steve,
and both me and Josiah were not happy with how he conducted those. It reminded us a little bit of how Cenk Uygur, in the initial run, was talking to Charlie Kirk, indeed, at like whatever the tour that they were doing was, America Fest or something, and he said, congratulations on a revolution, well done. So I have no problem whatsoever with criticisms of Democrats, so long as they're couched with that recognition. And to be honest with you guys, if I didn't feel that you guys did that, right, I think we'd have a different dynamic. And I think I would see you guys very differently. Do I agree with all your criticisms? No, but I don't agree with like all the criticisms or all the ideas of a lot of the people who I consider to be beneficial with respect to the harm reduction aspect of voting for Democrats. To say that, like, for example, I do think that Biden bears some responsibility for refusing to drop out. I don't think Biden should have interfered with the Department of Justice. It's funny you mentioned Merrick Garland. That's the one place where all the resistance hate me, because I still like defend what Merrick Garland did, notwithstanding the fact that Trump was able to not get any actual trial for the crimes that he definitely did. And so the disagreement part on issues of policy, Medicare for all, I'm in favor of universal health care. The disagreements on foreign policy stuff, that isn't what bothers me. What bothers me, or I think the audience, frankly, is when people, they perceive them as doing the false equivalence. Now, I don't think that you guys do that. Josiah doesn't think that you guys do that. However, there are some people on the left who do that. And there's this feeling of anger.
Are they bald and do they have a lip ring?
Wait, who are you referencing there?
Are there a bunch of bald guys with lip rings? I thought it was just Hutch.
Oh shit! Oh no! I'm not talking about my bad. I totally missed that. No. I think that Hutch is right when there are people like this. I mean, there are people who will die defending not voting for Hillary Clinton in 2016. You can't deny that, Zach. Those people exist, and they don't care the fact that it got us to where we are now.
You can always find examples of cringy people on the fringe of the left that are
Fringe,
like, I'm a Green Party
cringy,
supporter, the day I die, or
people.
whatever. Like, obviously that's going to be the case, no matter what era we're in, no matter how bad things get. Like, yeah, there's obviously going to be people like that on the fringes of the left that you can make fun of, that are just like autistically like pro third party.
Yeah.
Like, of course you can.
No,
you can make all the content.
I agree.
And
And
like shame them
yes,
for not
let me give you what you
voting
want.
for fucking Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, let me give you what you want. I don't think that the leftists cost Kamala the election. I think if you look at the empirics here, I don't think that the case is strong that the far left abandoned Kamala to degrees that would affect the outcome of the election. I'm just not convinced by that empirical case. And I don't think that the left, by and large, are scuttling the chances of Democrats in this way. But we do want, and I think that a lot of people want, like, this feeling. It really is like a virtue signal a lot of the times. But I think it's worth it,
For sure.
at least for some people, to establish that.
Oh yeah, we've dunked on that mentality endlessly. You know, the black-pilled people who just want to performatively, like Brianna Joy Gray comes to mind.
Yeah.
You know, acting like she's so morally superior over anyone who voted for Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or whatever. It's completely ridiculous. It was one thing to do it in like 2016 before Trump had actually been elected. Cards on the table. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. As soon as Donald Trump became president, and specifically after January 6th, and I realized like, oh shit, this is like 100% a fascist motherfucker. He will take over and take down this country if given the chance. After that, I was like, yeah, no, it's not worth
Isn't this all good from
throwing my
Mexico?
vote away
Yes,
again.
I don't
It's
know what I
actually
was
worth
doing. I'll
supporting
close
the
it. One
Democrats.
side.
Obviously,
Sorry.
Trump can't get reelected. Yada yada yada. So you know, we've had these conversations at length on our show many times. It's a something that I think as
Pisco uploaded this today. I go, yeah, I don't know. This is old as fuck. What is this? This is a week old, but it's not as topical.
All right. I think we got it.
All right. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, so I wanted to have a chat with you about a bunch of things that you said about me that are just fundamentally, completely, totally untrue.
Okay.
And I wanted you to give an accounting for them because I actually don't understand why you would say them.
Okay.
So first thing I wanted to get into was this. You said, quote, you sit there and advocate for 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds to sleep with 35-year-old men.
Okay.
Exact quote from your video.
Which video is that quote from?
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. Hang on.
Yeah, sure.
That was from the Andrew is an essay apologia, basically, reviewing the Oliver stuff.
Okay, yeah, well, you were having a conversation about, I guess, 35, 40-year-old guys dating young girls, right?
Yeah, but that's not, do you realize the distinction between an advocation for a thing or me saying that there's actually no argument that I've heard which is compelling for why the thing bad?
Okay. Sure. I think that from what I remember from watching it, you were pretty like hardline. You think it's okay, and that actually the woman benefits from the relationship. So I would consider that like an advocation, yeah.
Yeah, how's that me advocating that 18 or 19-year-olds should sleep with 35-year-old men?
I'm done with this. I can't listen to this guy. This is like a fucking worse version of Pisco. Okay. I can't. I'm not about to do 2 hours of that autistic shit. This guy spammed this same retarded. I don't know if this is a Washman or not. I think he's leaving the Vosh part of the question. Genuine question. Didn't you also say in the conversation you had earlier that the reps don't get pushback when Dems come into power? Isn't the criticism that these guys are talking about justified then? Like if Newsom comes in and doesn't prosecute anymore, is this a valid thing to threaten to not vote for him? If Dems know they won't lose voters if they don't improve, no consequence, what's the incentive for them to improve? That's not what these guys are talking about. I don't know why you're projecting your whole personal feelings about the election onto them. They're saying that the Democratic candidate that comes in needs to be advocating for single-payer healthcare, the abolition of capitalism, and the mandatory blowjobs for every fucking working-class American from every billionaire. The idea that all of these lefties are like, oh no, we need to come in and prosecute Republicans, that's not what they're talking about. So I don't know where that question is coming from or where you think it's coming from or why you think that has anything to do with their demands. It's nothing to do with their demands. Okay.
Thank you very much. We gather here today as members of a historic alliance, an alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was in a nation, actually it was on a continent, that was divided against itself. The line between communism and freedom ran through the heart of Germany. The first barbed fences of the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years prior. And just months before that first conference, before our predecessors first met here in Munich, the Cuban Missile Crisis had brought the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. Even as World War II still burned fresh in the memory of Americans and Europeans alike, we found ourselves staring down the barrel of a new global catastrophe, one with the potential for a new kind of destruction, more apocalyptic and final than anything before in the history of mankind. At the time of that first gathering, Soviet communism was on the march. Thousands of years of Western civilization hung in the balance. At that time, victory was far from certain. But we were driven by a common purpose. We were unified not just by what we were fighting against, we were unified by what we were fighting for. And together, Europe and America prevailed. And a continent was rebuilt. Our people prospered. In time, the East and West blocks were reunited. A civilization was once again made whole. That infamous wall that had cleaved this nation into two came down, and with it, an evil empire. And the East and West became one again. But the euphoria of this triumph led us to a dangerous delusion that we had entered, quote, the end of history, that every nation would now be a liberal democracy, that the ties formed by trade and by commerce alone would now replace nationhood, that the rules-based global order, an overused term, would now replace the national interest, and that we would now live in a world without borders where everyone became a citizen of the world. Jesus. This was a foolish idea that ignored both human nature and it ignored the lessons of over 5,000 years of recorded human history. And it has cost us dearly. In this delusion, we embraced a dogmatic vision of free and unfettered trade, even as some nations protected their economies and subsidized their companies to systematically undercut ours.
Oh my God. Is this just going to be a smarter rephrasing of the retarded shit that Trump says?
Our plants, resulting in large parts of our society.
Can you watch that public up video? My dono chat has a link. Bro, I'm not watching a 2-hour video on Andrew Wilson being autistic for... Wait, do you think that me saying that a thing that happens is actually okay and actually benefits the woman and benefits the man and it's been that way for a long time, that's the same thing as advocating for the particular thing? You understand? I'm good on that, bro. I'd rather kill myself. Andrew Wilson is worse than Pisco when it comes to like meta autistic syntactic debates that get completely away from all the substance of everything ever. I'm good.
Being deindustrialized, shipping millions of working and middle-class jobs overseas, and handing control of our critical supply chains to both adversaries and rivals. We increasingly outsourced our sovereignty to international institutions while many nations invested in massive welfare states at the cost of maintaining the ability to defend themselves.
Like, imagine how negative this is also for if you're the European Union, and you've got the United States talking about how they've undermined their sovereignty with trade deals that they've fully entered into. Damn, how do you feel as an EU state? Jesus.
This, even as other countries have invested in the most rapid military buildup in all of human history and have not hesitated to use hard power to pursue their own interests. To appease a climate cult, we have imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people, even as our competitors exploit oil and coal and
impoverishing our people, the wealthiest consumer class in the world, bar none.
Natural gas and anything else, not just to power their economies, but to use as leverage against our own. And in the pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together. And now, together, we owe it to our people to face those facts and to move forward, to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference, and it is our hope, to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. America was founded 250 years ago. But the roots began here on this continent long before. The men who settled and built the nation of my birth arrived on our shores carrying the memories and the traditions and the Christian faith of their ancestors as a sacred inheritance, an unbreakable link between the old world and the new. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that nations could share, forged by centuries of shared history, Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry, and the sacrifices our forefathers made together for the common civilization to which we have fallen heir. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off as a little direct and urgent in our counsel. This is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. The reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected. Not just economically, not just militarily. We are connected spiritually, and we are connected culturally. We want Europe to be strong. We believe that Europe must survive. Because the two great wars of the last century serve for us as history's constant reminder that ultimately our destiny is...
Name drop. Do you have an affiliate link for NordVPN? I'm going to China. I want to bypass the firewall. Nope. I don't even know if NordVPN or any of that works. If they have like servers in China, I have no idea.
And will always be intertwined with yours. Because we know... Because we know that the fate of Europe will never be irrelevant to our own. National security, which this conference is largely about, is not merely a series of technical questions. How much we spend on defense or where, how we deploy it, these are important questions. They are. But they are not the fundamental one. The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is what exactly are we defending? Because armies do not fight for abstractions. Armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to always be the master of its own economic and political destiny.
Name drop.
It was here, in Europe, where the ideas that planted the seeds of liberty that changed the world were born. It was here, in Europe, where the world, which gave the world the rule of law, the universities, and the scientific revolution. It was this continent that produced the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, of Dante and Shakespeare, of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And this is the place where the vaulted ceilings of the Sistine Chapel and the towering spires of the great cathedral in Cologne, they testify not just to the greatness of our past, or to a faith in God that inspired these marvels. They foreshadow the wonders that await us in our future. But only if we are unapologetic in our heritage and proud of this common inheritance can we together begin the work of envisioning and shaping our economic and our political future. Deindustrialization was not inevitable. It was a conscious policy choice, a decades-long economic undertaking that stripped our nations of their wealth, of their productive capacity, and of their independence. And the loss of our supply chain sovereignty was not a function of a prosperous and healthy system of global trade. It was foolish. It was a foolish but voluntary transformation of our economy that left us dependent on others for our needs and dangerously vulnerable to crisis. Mass migration isn't some fringe concern of little consequence. It was and continues to be a crisis which is transforming and
imagine like America also complaining about mass migration.
Stabilizing societies all across the West. Together, we can reindustrialize our economies and rebuild our capacity to defend our people. But the work of this new alliance should not be focused just on military cooperation and reclaiming the industries of the past. It should also be focused on together advancing our mutual interests in new frontiers, unshackling our ingenuity, our creativity, and the dynamic spirit to build a new Western century. Commercial space travel and cutting-edge artificial intelligence, industrial automation and flex manufacturing, creating a Western supply chain for critical minerals not vulnerable to extortion from other powers, and a unified effort to compete for market share in the economies of the global South. Together, we can not only take back control of our own industries and supply chains, we can prosper in the areas that will define the 21st century. But we must also gain control of our national borders. Controlling who and how many people enter our countries, this is not an expression of xenophobia, it is not hate. It is a fundamental act of national sovereignty. And the failure to do so is not just an abdication of one of our most basic duties owed to our people. It is an urgent threat to the fabric of our societies and the survival of our civilization itself. And finally, we can no longer place the so-called global order above the vital interests of our people and our nations. We do not need to abandon the system of international cooperation we authored, and we don't need to dismantle the global institutions of the old order that together we built. But these must be reformed. These must be rebuilt. For example, the United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries.
My kick is being weird. I don't know why. I'm restarting it.
Here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran. That required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B-2 bombers. And it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions. But we do not live in a perfect world. And we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international...
I'm sorry, who is he talking about right now? Like, I'm thinking of, like, Russia. Like, who is he talking about? What? Hello?
Threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela.
Oh.
Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions.
Maduro? It was a threat to the United States? Okay. Based, okay.
But we do not live in a perfect world. And we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international law which they themselves routinely violate. This is the path that President Trump and the United States has embarked upon. It is the path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is a path we have walked together before and hope to walk together again. For 5 centuries, before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims...
Wait, is my kick stream working now?
Its soldiers, its explorers, pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. Europe was in ruins. Half of it lived behind an iron curtain, and the rest looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come. Against that backdrop, then, as now, many came to believe that the West's age of dominance had come to an end, and that our future was destined to be a faint and feeble echo of our past. But together, our predecessors recognized that decline was a choice, and it was a choice they refused to make. This is what we did together once before, and this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again now, together with you. And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control. One that does not depend on others for the critical necessities of its national life. And one that does not maintain the polite pretense that our way of life is just one among many, and that asks for permission before it acts. And above all, an alliance based on the recognition that we, the West, have inherited together, what we have inherited together is something that is unique and distinctive and irreplaceable. Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond. Acting together in this way, we will not just help recover a sane foreign policy. It will restore to us a clearer sense of ourselves. It will restore a place in the world. And in so doing, it will rebuke and deter the forces of civilizational erasure that today menace both America and Europe alike. So in a time of headlines heralding the end of the transatlantic era, let it be known and clear to all that this is neither our goal nor our wish. Because for us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe. Our story began with an Italian explorer whose adventure into the great unknown to discover a new world brought Christianity to the Americas and became the legend that defined the imagination of our pioneer nation. Our first colonies were built by English settlers, to whom we owe not just the language we speak, but the whole of our political and legal system. Our frontiers were shaped by Scots-Irish, that proud, hardy clan from the hills of Ulster that gave us Davy Crockett and Mark Twain and Teddy Roosevelt and Neil Armstrong. Our great Midwestern heartland was built by German farmers and craftsmen who transformed empty plains into a global agricultural powerhouse. And by the way, dramatically upgraded the quality of American beer. Our expansion into the interior followed the footsteps of French fur traders and explorers whose names, by the way, still adorn the street signs and town names all across the Mississippi Valley. Our horses, our ranches, our rodeos, the entire romance of the cowboy archetype that became synonymous with the American West. These were born in Spain. And our largest and most iconic city was named New Amsterdam before it was named New York. And you know that in the year that my country was founded, Lorenzo and Catalina Giraldi lived in Casal Monferrato in the Kingdom of Piedmont, Sardinia. And Jose and Manuel Arena lived in Sevilla, Spain. I don't know what, if anything, they knew about the 13 colonies which had gained their independence from the British Empire. But here's what I'm certain of. They could have never imagined that 250 years later, one of their direct descendants would be back here today on this continent as the chief diplomat of that infant nation. And yet here I am, reminded by my own story that both our histories and our fates will always be linked. Together we rebuilt a shattered continent in the wake of 2 devastating world wars. When we found ourselves divided once again by the Iron Curtain, the Free West linked arms with the courageous dissidents struggling against tyranny in the East to defeat Soviet communism. We have fought against each other, then reconciled, then fought, then reconciled again. And we have bled and died side by side on battlefields from Kapyong to Kandahar. And I'm here today to leave it clear that America is charting the path for a new century of prosperity, and that once again, we want to do it together with you, our cherished allies and our oldest friends.
Wow.
We want to do it together with you, with a Europe that is proud of its heritage and of its history, with a Europe that has the spirit of creation and liberty that sent ships out into uncharted seas and birthed our civilization, with a Europe that has the means to defend itself and the will to survive. We should be proud of what we achieved together in the last century, but now we must confront and embrace the opportunities of a new one, because yesterday is over. The future is inevitable, and our destiny together awaits. Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, I'm not sure you heard the sigh of relief through this hall when we were just listening to what I would interpret as a message of reassurance, of partnership. You spoke of intertwined relations between the United States
Maybe you have
and
to
Europe.
suck up to the US?
Reminds me of statements made decades ago by your predecessors when the discussion was, is actually America a European power? Is America a power in Europe? Thank you for offering this message of reassurance.
Yeah, it's
about
better than
our
last year's speech.
partnership.
True.
This is
Advances.
actually not the first time that Marco Rubio is here at the Munich Security Conference. He's been here before, a couple of times, but it's the first time he has been, and he is the speaker as Secretary of State. So thank you again. We have only a couple of minutes now for just a few questions. And if I may, we collected questions from the audience. One of the key issues here, yesterday, today, is of course, continues to be the question of how to deal with the war in Ukraine. Many of us, in the discussions of the last day, last 24 hours, have voiced
Europe
their
can deal with
impression
it.
that the Russians, let me put it colloquially, the Russians are playing for time. They're not really interested in a meaningful settlement. There's no indication that they're willing to compromise on any of their maximalist objectives. Offer to us, if you could, your assessment of where we are and where you think we can go.
Well, I think where we are at this point is that the issues at play that have to be, here's the good news. The good news is that the issues that need to be confronted to end this war have been narrowed. That's the good news. The bad news is they've been narrowed to the hardest questions to answer, and work remains to be done in that front. I hear your point about, well, the answer is we don't know. We don't know if the Russians are serious about ending the war. They say they are, and under what terms they were willing to do it, and whether we can find terms that are acceptable to Ukraine upon that Russia will always agree to. But we're going to continue to test it. In the meantime, everything else continues to happen. The United States has imposed additional sanctions on Russia's oil. In our conversations with India, we've gotten their commitment to stop buying additional Russian oil. Europe has taken its set of steps moving forward. The Pearl program continues, in which American weaponry is being sold for the Ukrainian war effort. So all these things continue. Nothing has stopped in the interim. So there's no buying of time here in that regard. What we can't answer, but we're going to continue to test, is whether there is an outcome that Ukraine can live with and that Russia will accept. And I would say it's been elusive up to this point. We've made progress in the sense that for the first time, I think in years, at least at the technical level, there were military officials from both sides that met together last week, and there'll be meetings again on Tuesday, although it may not be the same group of people. Look, we're going to continue to do everything we can to play this role of bringing this war to the end. I don't think anybody in this room would be against a negotiated settlement to this war, so long as the conditions are just and sustainable. And that's what we aim to achieve, and we're going to continue to try to achieve it, even as all these other things continue to happen on the sanctions front and so forth.
Thank you very much. I'm sure if we had more time, there would be many questions on Ukraine. But let me conclude by asking a question about something entirely different. The next speaker here in just a couple of minutes will be the Foreign Minister of China. When you served in the Senate, sir, people considered you a kind of a China hawk.
So did they.
So did they.
Yeah.
We know that there will be, in about 2 months' time, a summit meeting between President Trump and President Xi Jinping. Give us your expectation. Are you optimistic? Can there be a quote-unquote deal with China? What do you expect?
Well, I would say this. The two largest economies in the world, two of the big powers on the planet, we have an obligation to communicate with them and talk, and so do many of you on a bilateral basis as well. I mean, it would be geopolitical malpractice to not be in conversations with China. I would say this, because we're two large countries with huge global interests, our national interests will often not align. Their national interests and ours will not align, and we owe it to the world to try to manage those as best we can, obviously avoiding conflict, both economic and worse. And so it's important for us to have communications with them in that regard. On areas in which our interests are aligned, I think we can work together to make positive impact on the world, and we seek opportunities to do that with them. But we have to have a relationship with China. Many of the countries represented here today are going to have a relationship with China, always understanding that nothing that we agree to could come at the expense of our national interest. And frankly, we expect China to act in their national interest, as we expect every nation state to act in their national interest. And the goal of diplomacy is to try to navigate those times in which our national interests come into conflict with one another, always hoping to do it peacefully. I think we also have a special obligation, because whatever happens between the U.S. and China on trade has a global implication. So there are long-term challenges that we face that we're going to have to confront, that are going to be irritants in our relationship with China. That's not just true for the United States, that's true for the broader West. But I do think we need to try to manage those the best we can to avoid unnecessary friction if it's possible. But no one is under any illusions. There are some fundamental challenges between our countries and between the West and China that will continue for the foreseeable future for a variety of reasons. And it's some of the things we hope to work together with you on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. We've run out of time. I'm sorry that I can't take questions from all those who wanted to ask questions. Mr. Secretary of State, thank you for this message of reassurance. I think this is much appreciated here in the hall. Let's offer a round of applause.
Clapper. We've got AOC. Wait, hold on. This is not AOC. What is this?
Aaron Baines, this is my biggest dream to come see you. So I wanted to ask you a quick question real quick. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? My notes. I'm pulling up my notes.
Nah, man, nah. You gotta chill out.
Okay,
You gotta
my
chill
bad,
out, bro.
So
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Okay,
bro?
no, I was about to ask a question, fam.
Hi, everyone. We're testing. Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe a little bit. What a wonderful crowd at 10 p.m. And we're going to have a very light-hearted discussion about U.S. policy, U.S. foreign policy. So welcome, everyone. I'm Francine Lacqua from Bloomberg, and I could not be more happy to speak to this wonderful panel to try and understand these seismic shifts in U.S. foreign policy. So with us, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor of the state of Michigan, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Member of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce of the USA, and Ambassador Matthew Whitaker, Permanent Representative of the United States of America to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I'm just going to dive straight in because I know we have 1 hour and we have many questions also from people being here now. Governor, is the United States stronger or weaker on the world stage than it was 5 years ago?
I think in the last 14 months, we've actually done a lot of damage, unfortunately, with regard to the ever-changing tariff landscape and some of the rhetoric, frankly. I am the governor of Michigan. We are intertwined with Canada. Our economies are absolutely intertwined. And I can tell you that the hurt at the beginning has turned to anger and has created a lot of stress in our state economy. We're feeling it. And as we've said all along, if you say no to Canada, you're saying yes to China. And I think that same rationale can be applied to all of our allies, our European allies. We are already feeling the brunt of it in our day-to-day. We know that the largest bridge, the largest transit between nations for the U.S. runs through the city of Detroit into Windsor, Canada. All of our automobiles go over 30 times over the course of production. And so the unpredictability, the instability, the putting our allies at arm's length has come with a big cost. And so I would say that there's opportunity to right the ship. But right now, I would say that we're in worse shape than we were in 14 months ago.
Congresswoman, what do you think is the state of U.S. foreign policy right now?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the governor. I think that the United States is very much in a compromised position compared to where we were 5 years ago. Our relationships with our allies are strained. Our commitment and demonstrated consistency on democratic values, human rights, also incredibly strained. And our domestic situation, I think, is reflecting globally as well, particularly economically. Skyrocketing inflation, tariffs, of course, have hurt Americans, and it has hurt and had a negative impact on the United States globally as well.
Ambassador?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree. I know everybody's surprised by that. But, first of all, obviously, as the U.S. ambassador to NATO, and I sit at the North Atlantic Council, and NATO's stronger right now than certainly it has been in the last 5 years. And it's probably stronger than it has been since the end of the Cold War. And what President Trump has done is bring a realism to just the challenges that America faces.
That America's real dumb right now.
And, we face a lot of challenge. I think it's an incredibly dangerous world right now. We have certainly an ascendant China that is going to be a strategic competitor of the United States for the next century.
Every single, I don't know if they'll do that here, but every single time somebody brings up that China is an enemy, the question should be, how has the Trump administration improved U.S. standing against China? Because all I see is us being made weaker. Canada's looking to form closer trade relationships with China. We've cut off trade deals that we previously had negotiated, like the U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement. We have isolated ourselves from all of our other allies across the world through our insane tariff and rhetoric policy. We constantly act like NATO is on the chopping block. How are these things making us more able to be a worthy adversary to China or help us compete with China? I don't understand. Even if you agree that China's a problem, every single thing this administration has done has taken us further and further from being a worthy competitor.
And how we respond to that is most likely to define where we end up as a country, and whether it's another century of America and what we offer to the world, or whether it's a century of China and what they bring to the world. I obviously am choosing and voting for the United States of America. And I think the second thing is we also have a very aggressive Russia that invaded their neighbor, that has been fighting a war that's almost in its 5th year in Ukraine. And so these challenges, together with many others, in fact, their no limits friendship that they've announced, I think presents some real challenges. But President Trump has been clear-eyed and realistic. And first he said, we need our allies, our friends, to be stronger. They need to be stronger economically, and they need to be stronger militarily. And ultimately, we are accomplishing that. And, it's like anything else. We're a year into this, and we're making great progress. But I just don't think you can look at right now and say it is or it isn't, because so far we've made amazing progress. But this is a long-term plan to reverse a lot of the trends that previous administrations have put on the United States of America.
Ambassador, do you believe NATO commitments should really be conditional on spending targets? And if yes, that means America first. So it's changing the relationship of NATO.
Well, I mean, so it's ultimately about capabilities, it's about readiness, and it's about lethality. And so the 3.5%, 5% that we did at NATO last year at The Hague certainly is a framework, but ultimately it's based on NATO capability targets that say, if there's a war, you're going to bring this many artillery pieces, you're going to bring this many tanks, this many infantry, and it is about capabilities. And the capabilities are becoming more sophisticated, more technologically important, more autonomous, and all of these challenges are going to require all of us to invest more. And but you can't make those in this many infantry, and it is about capabilities. And the capabilities are becoming more sophisticated, more technologically important, more autonomous, and all of these challenges are going to require all of us to invest more. And but you can't make those investments unless you have strong economies. And that's where the United States of America, I think right now, with GDP growth of over 4%, can make these investments. And some of our allies do not have that growth, especially some of the old world European economies. But, Germany is making great strides, great commitments. You see people on the eastern flank of NATO making huge investments at 5% from Poland and Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. So there's a lot of good news, but at the same time, we can't have an unequal alliance where the United States bears the burden. We can't have an unequal alliance within Europe where certain European countries do a lot more than others. We need everybody to equalize and to get stronger together.
Governor, because you've led the Midwestern industrial state with deep ties to global trade that you've laid out at the beginning, how would you do foreign policy different to previous Democratic administrations?
Well, I can just tell you what our philosophy is in Michigan. I am the CEO of a state. I am not on the federal level. I would simply recognize that it's very important for the United States to acknowledge and work together with our allies. And remember who our adversaries are. When we say no to Canada, it forces the Canadian government to do things like talking to China about opening up their doors to some Chinese EVs. We've been working so hard to shore up our autos, and we're competitive. We're building some of the finest automobiles on the planet. But we see what has happened in Europe, how the market has changed with the influx of subsidized Chinese vehicles and what it has meant. And that's why we've got to be really smart. By making Canada, our adversary, we have now forced North America to open up the door to that very possibility happening across our footprint in Mexico and Canada and the United States. And so the president has an opportunity to renegotiate USMCA. He negotiated it in the first place. Was it perfect? No, none of these never are perfect. This is an opportunity for him to renegotiate USMCA with perhaps make a few tweaks, but ultimately that has worked. And it is the backbone of our economy, not just in Michigan, but for the United States. And that's why I think if we want to continue to manufacture, we've seen 9 months of depression in manufacturing. This is the linchpin to remedying that. And he's got the opportunity to do it. And I hope he takes it.
But, Governor, do you think we're in a post-rules-based international order? Are we there yet? And what comes after it?
Yeah, I hope not. I don't believe that we are. And but I certainly think that that's open to debate.
Congressman, do you think we are in a new world order? We keep on talking about this new world order, but no one really knows what it is.
No, and I think, I think that Prime Minister Carney's remarks at the World Economic Forum were words that rung around the world in raising this question. But I think that also in his remarks, as well as part of this larger conversation, there was this undertone, this undercurrent, this suggestion that it was a rules-based order sometimes. And I think that is the issue that lies before us, is that in a so-called rules-based order, the rules for whom? Because for all too long, the rules only applied to the United States, Europe, its allies, and we would carve out exceptions for the global south. And I think that when you have a rules-based order where you carve out exceptions to our values, exceptions to our rules, eventually the exceptions become the rules. And I think that, to your original point, over the last 5 years, we've seen such a breaking and such a fraying of these alleged Western values that people wonder if it ever existed in the first place. So I don't know if it's necessarily that we are in a post-rules-based order. I think it's possible that we were in a pre-rules-based order. And we have an opportunity to explore what a world would look like if we upheld democracy, human rights, trade that actually centers working-class people instead of accruing overwhelmingly the benefits of trade to the wealthiest. But if we reoriented a new era that could actually help people and show how foreign policy and healthy foreign policy can show up and help them in their lives.
I mean, we have a number of European leaders here, and I know that certainly behind private closed doors, they say, look, the one question I want to ask the U.S. is, if I'm in trouble, will you come and help me? Are you still an ally? Or do we need to really decouple or certainly de-risk? Your answer to that, Congressman.
Well, I mean, we are, of course, representing a broad spectrum of the United States here today. And I think I'm very grateful that we have it's unfortunate, I guess we have to speak to the elephant in the room, that the partisanship in the United States has made this question something that even has to be asked behind closed doors in the first place. I know that the Democratic Party is here for our allies. We are shocked at the president's destruction of our relationship with our European allies. His threatening over Greenland is not a joke. It is not funny. It threatens the very trust and relationships that allow peace to persist. And so I believe what I can say is that unequivocally, the vast majority of the American people do not want to see these relationships frayed, and they are committed to our partnerships and our relationships and our allies.
Governor?
I would just second that. As I discuss, what's going on in Michiganders' lives, it is always about the fundamentals. It is always about, can I put on the table? Do I have a good paying job? You're a Midwesterner too. They're good, hardworking people. And I think Michigan being the place that was the arsenal of democracy during World War II, where we retrofitted auto plants and built bombers to make sure that the Allies were successful.
See, look, they use these stick mics. I need to get a set of these. I need to pick the best one and get a set.
Successful.
They're
That's
good.
a source of pride. That's built in our DNA. And I think that what the Congresswoman said about the vast majority of Americans would understand, value, and encourage continued growth of the relationships. I think that is very true. It's what I see. Most people are not wondering, how come we haven't invaded Greenland long ago? They're wondering, what the heck are we doing over there? Because right now, I need some help here in the United States. The tariffs that have made a company downsize or that have cost me $1,000 more because a tariff is really a tax. That's what Americans want our leaders to be focused on. And that's what I hear from Michiganders all the time. And so I do think that, yes, these relationships are valued by the majority of people in the United States. And right now it is a tough time, but that's why as a subnational leader, I take my responsibility of making sure people hear this and that I do whatever I can at the state level to grow these relationships.
Ambassador?
A lot to respond to here. First of all, I always think that the rules-based order of discussion for me as somebody from Des Moines, Iowa, and that's actually a practitioner right now in a European capital at one of our key alliances, is a bit of a theoretical think tank coastal elite discussion, because ultimately it's shared interests, it is shared responsibilities, and it is also what I would describe as a moment for the free world, for those that share a heritage, an experience, that share values, to step up and respond to the dangerousness of this world. And, I'm looking at the foreign minister from Latvia, a good friend of mine, and what I can tell you...
My sexist, or is AOC just not as well spoken as Rubio? Well, first of all, AOC is speaking off the cuff here, and Rubio was reading a speech. Are you not able to tell the difference when you're listening to somebody talk, if somebody's reading a speech or not?
Is, I'm doing this every day in Europe, and our allies are not saying that somehow we're not friends anymore, or somehow that we've become adversaries. The Canadians, we work very constructively on all sorts of important issues. But, President Trump has identified certain things that needed to change. If try to be a dairy farmer and export your dairy products, this, Governor, to Canada. I mean, they had certain restrictions, certain protection in place, and it wasn't fair to the United States of America. For a long time, and we had the same relationship with Europe, where there were just certain industries, farm products, couldn't be sent to Europe. Oftentimes, certain types of other products, including cars, Europe was not receptive to it. They had tariffs in place, restrictions, or non-tariff protections. And President Trump identified this, said this isn't fair to America, it's not fair to the American worker or the American farmer, and he has identified that. Now, when you change something, or when you have a difficult conversation in your family, you get uncomfortable, and that's what's been happening, is fixing these long-term challenges that President Trump has...
Okay. I'm going to kill something, and then we'll watch the rest of this. I'm leaning more into the debate bro thing. I think that these conversations are worthless. If you're going to bring different people together, you need to have some critical or adversarial conversation. Otherwise, it's imagine it's two people coming together and one person thinks that murder is good and the other person thinks that murder is bad. And it's what do you think about murder? And it's well, I think murder is bad. I don't think you should be able to just kill people willy-nilly. I think we should protect human life. And they're oh, well, that's interesting. And what do you think? Well, I actually think murder is good. I think that it's based to be able to kill people when you want and that people should demonstrate their power whenever possible. And that's the way the world works. Oh, interesting. Okay, and then back to... And what the fuck is the point of this? I don't understand what the point is of having people on who have diametrically opposed opinions on things if they're not going to be challenged or pushed. It's just a PR platform for everybody involved, and they get to walk away with this false sense of having conversations with the other side or being willing to participate in open discussion when it's not really. I don't know. I hate this format. I think it's so annoying. Ugh. Yeah. So Brandon says exactly. How can you incredulously ask? Allies are acting like our partnerships are falling apart when Trump is talking about sending troops into Greenland every 2 weeks or invading and taking over some of Canada. Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. This is a 7.5 minute in, out, one and done, perfect max score, right?
Yep. We all just gotta do a quick prayer to God for a good spawn. It's very RNG dependent. If we spawn village, the top left part of the map, we can do it.
So you snap on top. After you snap, you Torrente the top.
Break. Yeah, Torrente the top.
2 mines, and then if you jump off, will you die, or you can be okay?
You'll be fine if you jump off. You'll take some damage just from the fall, but you'll be okay. It's better than dying to the deadline. I've died to the deadline 2 or 3 times when I greeted for 3.
How? Because he greeted for 3.
Because you get killed by the first deadline. Oh, greeted for 3. Then, okay, sorry.
Are you doing
the second deadline?
Heavy shield or?
I'm doing light just for speed.
You're fucking.
I'm doing medium.
Oh my. Okay, fuck it.
Let's go. In between,
Yeah. Don't commit to anything. pussy.
Heavy shield might actually be better. I wonder if you could tank, like, if you can tank 1 deadline, maybe it's fine.
Why do you have to tank a deadline? If you set 2, you should be able to...
Well, yeah, if you set 2, you're good, but maybe...
Everybody
if you're,
set
like,
2
3
and
for
then
3.
hop off, and then I'll immediately try to fucking hook on for another 2 if we need it.
6 should be overkill, right?
Well, I don't know on
6 yet.
Queen.
You guys are
Okay, well, there you
trigger
go.
the fuck out of me.
Well, other people were shooting at us. We kind of got cucked, so I guess we'll see. But
We ideally we don't want to go on if somebody's shooting, right? Because then we won't get max score.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We're at 18.5 minutes.
Okay, reset.
Should we just reset?
Yeah, just go to a hatch.
Okay.
Oh, based.
We all brought hatch keys, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You can go last. I Bob, you know.
Good job, guys. We're building those friendly queues.
When we go on Stella, it's gonna start resetting again.
Nah. Okay, got another hatch key, ready to go.
Absolutely identified, because even though he's from New York City, he understands the American voter and like people that I grew up with and people that I know and am friends with, and so he just has a way to channel sort of the working class American that wants a better shake, that wants a system that's fair, that they can get those opportunities and not have entire markets blocked or restrictive. And so these are, but I just have to. The fundamental premise that somehow anything's changed with our relationships with our allies. We're having difficult conversations, but we're actually having a lot of success too, and we're making a lot of progress.
Family feuds also end up in people no longer speaking to each other. So
Dude, we're
when
nowhere close to that, though.
leaders come and speak to you and say, does the U.S. have my back? What do you tell them, plain and simple?
I say, one, absolutely yes. I was the first ambassador confirmed by the Senate, and I was the first ambassador that was nominated by President Trump to go to NATO to make sure that NATO worked.
20 minutes.
Oh, me dude.
Hatch out. And a shit. Oh,
Yeah.
not a shit spawn. Should we ever like stop and listen to
Spawn
see
was
if people
fine.
are actually fighting it? Because maybe there are some where the people like how often are people killing the matriarch?
I mean,
or
we'll
whatever?
hear it, but there's going to be damage to it, obviously, so we won't get max.
Do people normally shoot at it or damage it or?
I mean, you think someone hasn't shot at it for the 10 minutes that's gone on?
I mean, I don't shoot it at a single
it
time if I'm
alive?
doing if I'm running the event.
I don't even think it's alive right now.
How?
I'm
You
like
can
pretty
really
sure it's dead.
load into a matriarch game with their matriarch already dead?
We're
That
literally
seems-
right next to it. Like, we would hear it.
Well, we're not right next to it. It's down to our left. But okay. Why would they even have it so you can load into those? That seems like the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, no, it's really troll.
Okay. Based.
And that we got these big goals accomplished. I also say, like, everybody loves to read his tweets and comment about every single, Truth Social that he puts out there. He has, just as late as today, he said, I will be there for NATO. Those are our friends. Like, the United States will always be there for NATO. And I know that's a bipartisan thing. Like, we will show up if challenged, but we also expect, and this is so crucial, to all of our allies to do what Latvia is doing in so many other countries, and that is to step up to provide, because remember, everyone wants to talk about Article 5.
Resets.
Everybody knows Article 5.
What?
We got a couple resets. We'll make it.
5, that an attack on one is an attack on all. But Article 3 comes before that. And Article 3 says that each country will be responsible for its individual defense and its collective defense. And that's why countries like Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, Germany, and so many others are stepping up. And we just expect everybody to step up, to equalize with the United States, so that strength of all allies is what's going to guarantee the peace. Because we've had peace on the continent, in Europe, one that has not historically been peaceful, I might add. We have had peace in Europe for 80 years since World War II. And we need to continue that for another 80 years and beyond.
Is the perception, Governor, from allies changing also because people are seeing,
I hear it.
I do hear it. 27.5 minutes? Is it worth it or do we leave?
Someone just aggroed it though. No,
Yeah.
I'm fucking bounce.
We bounce? Okay.
I'd rather bounce.
Do you think it's faster to do this or hatch key out?
Hatch key 100%.
Hatch key.
Oh yeah, that dude's pretty dead.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh, or it doesn't matter. We're taking a hashcat. Oh, okay, never mind. We're good. Yep. Shut up. You fucking spammer. Okay, good luck. I think we got one more shot.
Some of the domestic policies. So it's ICE, it's immigration, and so they feel like it's a different America.
You know, I can't speak to what others' perception is. I can just say, you know, I've
I
spent.
got damage to queens or matriarchs on that. Did you get that?
No. Wow. What the fuck?
Oh wait, or did I not? I feel like it was giving me. I don't know. Never mind. Ignore everything I said. I'm retarded.
A lot of time talking with leaders from outside the nation. I've been spending quite a bit of time with my Canadian friends and counterparts. I mean, Michiganders love Canadians, and we are absolutely interwoven, our two economies.
Oh, it was
and
the
I can
WASP
tell
thing,
you
I
that
think.
there is a level of fear and concern that started off as hurt because went from being like an extension of our family to all of a sudden being talked about as though we're not allies to anger. And that's real. It's palpable. I don't know, maybe they're not telling you, Ambassador, but they certainly have aired a lot of their fears with me and fears about what our mutual economies, what it means for that as well. So, but I can't speak to what the perception is. I can just say that, you know, allyships are built over lots and lots of time. Trust is built over generations, and it can be lost fast. And I do worry, what is the long-term consequence of some of the more recent policy changes in the last 14 months? I worry about that. I think a lot of people do, and I think it's reasonable to worry about it. We should always be fortifying our relationships with our allies and remembering who our adversaries are.
Okay, we're in at the start. Decent-ish spawn, I think, right? Or no?
Yeah. No, it's.
It's not the best,
Fuck
but
it.
it's good.
Let's go for it.
Good enough.
Okay, so she's chill. She's not gonna like shoot at us or anything. We're just gonna run up to it, zip line up, and it's gonna be.
Well, if she doesn't see us, yeah.
Okay.
We zip line on it. It already
aggroed.
sounds like aggroed.
Well, it's okay.
Whatever. This is good practice.
For the real run.
How many people that do this event get like the max, like it says like 30,000 points or whatever, or?
I got the max
It's
like
16.5.
this morning. But I got killed by my own deadline.
Lim Mayo. I thought there were no ads.
This rocket's here sometimes spawn with the harvester.
Oh, nice. People are wolf
He's got
packing
it for us. He's definitely not gonna fuck with our.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, we got.
Oh my
What?
god.
What?
So fucking far away.
Yeah.
We gotta beat these Wolfpack guys to it.
Wait, where are we go? Is this on the map somewhere? Am I retarded? Where is it?
We just ran past it.
Okay.
No.
Where the fuck is it though?
It's over there.
I hear an equalizer.
Wait, oh, I see it. Way over there. Over there?
It's right there.
Of course. Yeah, I know. Just kidding. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
this guy, thanks for shooting at it for us, bro.
Well, wait, so we shouldn't even try that. He's so brave. He just stands there alone. Bro,
We'll
we're
just
in
over practice. This is a practice
super
run.
peaceful queues. Oh my god.
We'll see if you guys can snap hook on top of it.
Okay, we should go at the same time, right? Because you're really far ahead right now. No.
Wait, I don't even have the fucking. Wait, you gotta drop me them, Bob. You gotta drop me the deadline.
Okay, you need to say that way earlier.
Oh my god. Are you serious, Alden? You're just. Okay. Wait, what are you doing?
Just go!
You don't have any
Go on top!
I can't even. Nope, I'm not even on top. Oh my god.
2.
This is fucking. Good job, bro. Oh, I gotta wait for my snap hook to regen, so good luck.
One. 2. Got a blast.
I just tank it, you know.
It's dead.
Is it though?
Yep.
Oh, that's the animation. Do we ever bother looting this, or do we just say fuck it?
I mean, the keys are friendly. I'm just gonna lose my.
Our damage is so ass.
Where do you get the the core things or whatever? Does it have to come from the center or?
Legs or center?
I was about to loot the center, but I got yoinked.
Okay. I think I shot exactly 0 bullets this round, so good job, guys.
Oh god, I want to look at our score. What is it?
It's like 8K.
Oh man, good job. These things don't fucking stack, seriously?
Oh, and they're really heavy.
Holy shit, they are. Well, I'm guessing that's all looted. Key out.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear people.
See you in a few hours.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Why do you sound so guilty? Don't talk. Don't tell people we're friendly ever. Who's got the key? Please, somebody just use it. We're about to die.
Okay, we got a Stella, 2 hours, I think, and then we have another matriarch.
Well, the matriarch is in 2 hours exactly.
So we'll do matriarch first. We'll do Stella like last minute.
Sure. What do we wait? What do we have to do on Stella? It's ticks.
Ticks. Yeah. It's basically the same split. You can look at the map and just look at ticks. It's 2 people like Sandbach, archivist, archives, seed box area, and then 1 guy medical.
Okay. What do we got 9K on this, and you said the max is.
It's like
16.5 or.
I got 13.3 on right now.
Ugh. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Reconvene in 1 hour 45 minutes. Be careful.
Sure.
Bye.
Yo, Prang Sibian, I'll give you deadlines.
As we look at what is happening, there's no question that the barrage and the change in policies have taken a toll. Is it foregone? Is it unredeemable? No. But it's my hope that we have leadership that recognizes, okay, right now, let's seize on USMCA. Let's get this done so that the people around the globe can see, all right, we are going to have a policy and it is going to stay. And that will, I think, settle a lot of the concerns that our allies are asking about the United States right now.
Congresswoman, what do you see as the single biggest shift in U.S. policy?
The single biggest? Well, I think zooming out beyond just this presidential administration, I think that what we are seeing is between President Trump's first administration pulling out of longstanding international agreements. Then you have President Biden, who is opting back into some of them, such as, for example, with the Paris Climate Accords. And then you have President Trump that's elected again. I think what we are seeing now is this idea that U.S. foreign policy is, and some of our more basic and foundational values-based commitments seem to be enacted based on the partisanship of whoever is elected. That we play hokey pokey with USAID, with the Paris Climate Agreement, with many of our commitments. And I don't think that that is good for the country. I think that what is best is for when we sign an agreement and when we're a part of it, we stay in it.
Okay, is this just going to be them? I was saying Gretchen? Whitmer, Jesus. Saying that we should probably stick to these agreements, and then the NATO guy going, hey, everything is great. We actually are doing all these things, and everybody's actually better off for it. Is that the...
So that they...
For an hour?
know that our commitments are reflective of our nation's values in a...
What's that?
So that they know that our commitments are reflective of our nation's values in a way that transcends partisanship. And so I think that instability is one, but then the other, I think it is hand in hand.
Oh, her mic is dragging us.
With the volatility on one hand. It goes far beyond just agreements, and it goes into real aberrations, I think, in interventionism, in in, I think, a turning back on our commitment on human rights, as well as supercharging an economic regime that fuels the 1%. And I think that piece is the most concerning for everyday people.
I want to touch on China next. So, Ambassador, is China primarily an economic competitor? Is it a military threat, or is it like an ideological adversary?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that question is...
Okay, I'm good. Boring. Yeah, I see Mehdi Hassan is apparently mad that LeBron didn't make a strong statement on Israel-Palestine, I guess. I don't care.
Remarkable.
This was the most contentious one. Well, no, he made a strong statement on how awesome Israel is, which is fine but really random. What was the context? Like that he said he visited it or something? Or that he's just like, oh, I love Israel? He wants to visit All-Star Press questions.